to episode 200 of the Battlecast podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Peng, and we have our very, very special guest to join us on our 200th episode from the very beginning, from the first episode. It's none other than ZyoniK. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, guys, and thanks for keeping the flame going over the years. I know the team's been like evolving and changing. Caleb's been holding the fort down, but it's great to see that this is still evolving and growing, and it's really cool to see. So I appreciate it.
We talked about that last episode actually, and I was thinking back on it. I was like, wait, I actually haven't. There've been times where like one of the hosts can't make it and stuff, but I've been on for every one of the episodes to my knowledge. Mm-hmm. So it's been a crazy ride, and I don't know why someone would listen to my voice for 200 episodes, but here we are. But glad to have you back as well. And just to start things off, how have things been? I know there's been a recent rebrand on YouTube channel as well. I'm sure we'll get to that. I did check out those videos, but the last time we had you on was episode 100, and back then Speediest Chief was the co-host, and we've already changed another co-host since then. And of course on, and he was off, and we're back on with
Tristan's dancing on my screen. Is he doing that for you guys?
Yeah. He might have a question as well, so we'll let him ask a question too before we get into some of your stuff. Tristan?
I think he's frozen on my
he
screen.
Might just be frozen.
No.
Okay. Well, anyway, these are sometimes when we have more than one co-host, it's a little harder.
Mm-hmm. ZyoniK, did you ever expect this podcast would get to 200 episodes when you first started it back in the day?
I wouldn't say when you start a podcast you think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make it to 200 episodes or what have you. You kind of just like start it because you want to talk about the things that you enjoy talking about, and then you hope that other people want to listen to that. And so I knew if there's always interest and love in PvP and Pokemon Go, the podcast would always kind of be around. Unfortunately, a lot of my time couldn't be dedicated to it, but Caleb was able to, take it on full force. I mean, the Battlecast definitely fits his mystique there with his love for cats. It's really cool. And the art, I remember the art having the medallion be the mic was such a cool touch when it was first created. But I didn't think it would be making it to a certain episode. I just knew that, if Go Battle League is still alive and kicking, then the podcast will be too.
Yeah, definitely. And I know this was technically your second podcast too, right? Because you had a briefer one with KLTD, Cody maybe? Or did you have a podcast with him, or maybe you just ran a coaching service with him? I can't remember particularly.
We did with Cody. It was a coaching service back in the day in the Soph.
Okay, gotcha.
The Soph days, the OG grass when, that metal was wild.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I don't know why I had the impression you had another podcast, but maybe it was just that you were like definitely more. I think when we started, you were definitely more comfortable with everything. Like if you listen back to the first few episodes, man, I don't even want to do this myself, but like I'm pretty sure I was like very stiff, right? And we didn't have video either, but you can hear the stiffness in my voice. Obviously, it got better as we recorded more weeks, but that was back in what 2021, 2020, maybe even.
Yeah, I would say 2020. I think. If I had to take a guess. Well, I think it started. I was on a train back from London, and I was watching Caleb's video on Lugia when he won a tournament with it. And I'm like, this man is nuts. Like, he brought Lugia to the Great League, and I DM'd him, and it was kind of history from there. I think we just, kind of talked. We were in the space together. We were at tournaments, and this, how the Soph was. It was very like everyone knew everyone from the very start. That's kind of how it all started. And then it was like, hey, let's do a podcast together, because Caleb and I got along really well. So
ZyoniK was you're one of my first comments on that YouTube video, actually. You, King, I think Blandon as well. Like there were a lot of the OG creators, very welcoming and me to the space, which was nice, right? Because I wasn't sure, honestly, when I posted my first video, if it was just like a one and done kind of thing or not.
Yeah.
But you all kind of brought me in, and I think the next thing I did, I didn't actually work with it, but I just remember this is back when YouTube live stream was bigger than Twitch for Pokemon Go, I guess. But you all were streaming the Argentina regional.
Oh, yeah.
It was you, Training Tips, and King IB and stuff. And then I think like King or you or something invited me to some like different meta talks on his channel. Like he used to have these meta conversations on YouTube live channel and stuff, which is wild. And we just hop in and talk about random stuff. So I feel like back then too, there's just way less content to make, right? It would just be Sylph. It would be one meta for a full month. And like you could only go to so many tournaments because they had to be like local to you. You had to be able to travel to
they
it.
had to be local. You couldn't give away your team first. You had to go to the tournament, win the tournament, then give away the team. I made that mistake. Like I got my first tournament, I did like 3-2, which was the Boulder Cup, and then I think it was Twilight Cup next, and that was my first one that I won, and it was actually here in Norwich, the city I live in now. Oh wow! I won it, and then I got like so kind of inflated, like my ego is like I'm unstoppable, right? I just won a turn, I'm unstoppable. So I posted, this is the team I'm bringing to the Tempest Cup, talking about all the ins and outs, the rosters that I'm going to bring. You guys can use it. I'm going to dominate with it. I show up to the tournament to a local, and if you guys know the Gengar Life, he whooped me.
I didn't know he played Sylph back in the day too.
He played Sylph, and he whooped me, and he was like, "Thanks for telling me your strategy." They literally all built like teams based on my video to beat me when I showed up because I told them I was coming. It was like, okay, can't tell anyone my teams anymore. But yeah, it was the time of like, watching King spend all his Stardust powering up new Pokemon, and like, those it was good days.
Wow. I'm looking back at the last time you were on for the episode 100, and so that was on May 24th, 2023. So it was before Yokohama World Championships. It was before NAIC that year as well. And the funny thing is, the episode right before that is #thank you Sylph because it was when we found out the impending doom of Sylph.
No.
And then 2 episodes before that was Palmer's Up's face reveal, also featuring and he featured Palmer's Up and Anacor for the first time on the podcast, and it was featuring Dracoviz when no one really knew what Dracoviz was.
Oh man, I'm so appreciative of Dracoviz's his meta. Like I always, because I miss quite a few of the tournaments just because of time zone. It depends on where it is. If it's EU, it's like perfect, but the NA ones, I'm like, okay, I can't miss it. So I like wake up and then I go on to Twitter X or whatever. I go to Dracoviz's thing, or it usually pops up first for me, and then I kind of check what teams were doing, who won, because I'm like like this last week, I'm like Tinkaton. After this event, I'm like, if it's going to be dominating the next tournament, everyone's going to bring it. I'm like, oh, look at that. Tinkaton, 1, 2, like 4.
Yep. Yeah, it's really, I mean, because sometimes I don't follow all the tournaments either, or some of them, they're not even streamed, right? And so it's hard to see the teams that they even have, especially some of the Latin American ones.
Yeah, especially the Asia Pacific ones.
Asia too, yeah. So it's really cool just to see like a snapshot preview and stuff. It's very, very clean graphics. So shout out to them. But yeah, that was around when they started, and it was also a few weeks after we had UIC, the second UIC, where I think it was the last time we cast together, actually, back in 2023.
Was it?
Yeah, it's been a hot second.
No, I was with Will in this last one.
Yep, and then the year before I competed, I was there. But
you competed, and that was with Butters.
Yeah, you were with Butters. I think Inadequates and
yes. Leo.
And Leo, yeah. I think we're the 4.
And then the year. Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. Time flies.
Will kept making fun of it. No, I know. Time is flying. Like my son was born on Sylph day 1 of season 2.
Yeah, I remember because the first time I met you, you weren't a father yet.
My
in
son.
Chicago, that summer, and then he was born shortly.
Yeah, he was born October 6th, 2019, and so that was Sylph season 2 start.
Wow. That's
Wow.
crazy. Almost 6 years old.
Yeah, they're about to be 5, 6 now.
That's
Now
kind of
he's
wild.
playing Pokemon.
That's insane.
They are 100%. They are all in Pokemon Go, Violet and Scarlet, TCG card pack openings from the
Oh man,
mobile
from
app.
Rocket?
We got plushies in the house. It is a Pokemon family, and I love it. Yeah.
Do they have a wish list for you whenever you get access to the Pokemon Center, like especially at UIT, right? Because
Yep.
usually the casters get a little bit earlier access than others.
Yep. So every year, I go to, instead of going to EUIC, I go to the Pokemon house, is what my kids think. So I go to the Pokemon house. They tell me what Pokemon I need to
Right.
bring home. So this year, it was a Hoppip for my daughter. That's her new favorite Pokemon. And then it
That's
was
the Master Ball one, right?
Yeah. She actually asked me that the other day because I have 2 Master Balls. And she's like, can I catch Hoppip with your Master? I'm like, no. Don't do it.
You could do a whole family tree.
Yeah. And then my son wanted a new Squirtle plushie because the first plushie I got him was from Liverpool at the first Play Pokemon regional like we ever had. Like we had a UIC, but Liverpool was the actual first tournament
Right.
with like
Wasn't even
Azure
broadcasted.
streaming from his phone. He had his phone like over the shoulder of
Lurking Rocket probably.
yeah,
and,
Lurkin Rocket and all of them. It was so I got a Squirtle there, but the Squirtle had his head turned and like one eye closed. And my son's like, I want a Squirtle that's sitting upright, looking forward, and smiling with both eyes open. I'm like, got it. So it's a successful mission. Next year we'll see. I'll either, if I'm not casting it, I'll just go
So
there
specific.
and take the family with me. Oh yeah, they have like a hit list, like exactly what they want, how it looks.
Why is Hoppip your daughter's favorite Pokemon? Out of
It's
curiosity,
pink.
That's cute.
It's pink.
Caleb, don't be judgy. It's cute.
No. I'm not judging. I'm just asking
here's-
because there's always like I feel like every Pokemon in the Pokédex is someone's favorite Pokemon. Maybe not like all the newest ones, but it's always
Yeah.
something, right? Like I was like, there's no way someone's favorite Pokemon's a Doduo, and then my friend's Ben's favorite Pokemon's a Doduo. So I'm just wondering the origin of Hoppip.
So the origin is we have Scarlet and Violet. So my Switch has Violet, and the family Switch has Scarlet.
Mhm.
And in Scarlet, I think it's in both actually, but Alara is my daughter. She has the Nintendo profile that plays the family Switch Scarlet. So they do everything through that game. But when she started in that first zone, like right after you get past the lighthouse and you kind of go to like your first little mini city, there's like some grass there. Hoppips are there. And so her favorite color is pink, and there was a bunch of Hoppips like flying around. She's like just turned 4 years old, and she's like, I love it. Like, this is it. And so that's been her. She loves Hoppip. She loves Charmander. She loves Sprigatito and Eevee. That's her roster.
Wow. Does she know that shiny Jumpluff is also pink?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's I'm sure she probably liked that too.
Yeah.
And then of course she used a Master Ball on one of your Hoppip encounters in Pokemon Go. So there's that.
Listen, it was very important at the time.
It was.
Thinking back on our episode 100, I know lots has happened, right? Like obviously Sylpha's no longer around. We're on year 4 of the championship series?
Yeah.
But how's it been for you? I know there's a time period where you took a little bit of a break as well, right? From making maybe Pokemon Go content. I know you made some content on Destiny, maybe some other games as well that I'm not aware of. But, what's it like been for you for the past 2 years?
Yeah, the past 2 years have been wild, for anyone who has children, they understand when like as they grow up to different ages, it's new levels of difficulty, right? Like the baby years is like you lose all your sleep. The toddler years is the toddler tantrums, and it's kind of like I have twins because they're 9 months or 11 months apart. So they're basically the same age in my head. They're like, so it's kind of like raising twins. So there's just difficult, like your day-to-day life is just, you're a dad. And when it comes to Pokemon Go, if if the content isn't sparking like passion and love for the game, it's better to just set it down for a bit than to stay in and start hating it. And that's what I've learned. So like I thankfully like don't rely on it for income like I do other things, but I want to make sure when I'm making content I'm doing it because I love it and not because I have to, and because it's a nasty hole. And I know some creators, maybe they aren't right now. But when you're in that daily grind of GBO videos every single day, sometimes double uploads to keep the wheels turning, that can be a dark place if you don't take a step back, especially with how the game's been kind of treated over the years or how things shape out. So I take breaks to gain perspective, to gain a new appreciation for the game, and I come back like refreshed and renewed. Yeah, that's about it.
That's awesome. I know you're making some content on Destiny as well. Was that mostly where you're making other content, or did you try?
Oh yeah, so Destiny's another game that I love playing. I made some content for that and actually did really well. The troubling thing is like, I mean, we all know how Niantic treated GBL. It's kind of like, I don't need to explain that to this audience, but I found myself in a similar situation with Destiny, where it was just the content was great. The creating content there was fantastic. I had a couple videos, actually my biggest videos I think ever, besides the quote unquote like best team of all time video that I have, which was
the Bastion team.
Bastion, Sableye, Metacham. Like it's eternal. Like that team is eternal.
In a way, you've influenced more people to use Bastion than me.
That's true. I still run into that team in GBL, and I think of you every time. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember the video.
Yep. Guilty. But no, the content there was great. But they have a very similar relationship with the creators and the community and the game, where the people of the game want these quality of life updates, or why aren't you doing this and why aren't you doing that? And then the next update coming out is like, here's some Star Wars skins, pay more money. Here's this, pay more money. And we're like, please, like just. So I created content for a while there. It did great. It was fun. But ultimately like Steam charts, if you kind of look at it, like the daily active players went from like 100,000, 300,000 down to like 15,000. So that's kind of like, it's kind of like, bye. But it was fun. It's something that, if I ever want to go back, maybe they do a new expansion. They have a new one coming up, The Edge of Fate, which hopefully is interesting. But I did some content there, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, you pulled in a lot of views too. I remember I feel like when you first told me about this, we were still doing the podcast together, if I'm not mistaken. Because you told me it was, or maybe, no. I think when you told us this, it was when you were last on the podcast. And you said it was something. I just remember your logo was like some like potato on a couch or something.
Yeah.
Because you didn't reveal that was you.
I didn't want to be. I didn't want to have. Like, because I had my Pokemon channel, and I didn't want to be like, oh, this is another ZyoniK channel. I'm just like, I would love to go incognito mode and just kind of see if like I can create content for something else without people knowing. And so I did. I had this potato as my mascot. It was literally just a potato, like an art potato, nothing fancy. And the channel was named Eclipse. And when the first couple videos I made didn't hit, they got like a couple hundred views, and I quickly learned why, because I like to see the analytics on the backside and why I wasn't doing it, and it was actually my thumbnail, and I wasn't having the right hook and this kind of stuff. And so I kind of looked at, wait, let me look at what's actually working from other channels and then just do that, but in my own style with my own builds and whatnot. So the videos that did the best were builds. It's kind of like teams for GBL. They do the best, right? So I did that, and it was like a brand new season started, and when a new season starts, everyone gets a new exotic weapon right at the beginning if you pay for the battle pass. So you could like get the exotic weapon by getting to level 100 for free on the battle pass, or you could pay like $20 and you get it day one. So everyone just pays $20 and gets it day one. So I made a video talking about this build that was broken with this new exotic. And I woke up and it was like 150,000 views. I'm like, what is going on? And then the comments were like, are you ZyoniK? Are you ZyoniK? Are you ZyoniK? Because it was my voice still. And I'm like, oh man, they're like, I play Pokemon Go. You sound just like ZyoniK. And I'm like, oh man, here we go.
I didn't know there was that much crossover between Pokemon Go and Destiny.
There's a big audience. There's a big crossover. Yeah.
You should have been like, what a coincidence. I'm totally not that guy.
So, yeah.
So random.
I sent a picture of your old logo to our group.
Oh, yeah.
And I had, let me see if I can get a video here. I'll get you a picture. I since changed the channel to ZyoniK Gaming.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think your banner's still the couch potato.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the couch.
It is. Yeah, the couch potato. Let me see if I can pull up one of the videos. So what I'd have is the potato talking. So I have a little mouth that was an open image and a close image. So I would just cycle them back and forth to make it look like the potato was talking. If you look at my channel, Caleb, if you go here, I'll send you the link.
Yeah. I'm on it right now too.
Scroll. Go to the videos tab. And then start scrolling through, and see. I hid the potato in every thumbnail.
Potato in every thumbnail?
Yeah. So if you scroll down,
I do see it.
Yeah. So I started like hiding the potato in the thumbnails.
Oh, that's really clever.
Yeah. So I did. Let me see this. Let's see if I did the potato talking. Maybe I think I took the potato talking right away. But I know I did it. I definitely did it for this video. Yeah, I did it for if you go to, it's kind of later. Where am I at? It's called Insanely Fun Arc Titan Build, Destiny 2 Lightfall. You scroll down.
Oh, I see it. Yep. Yeah.
With the F around find out.
Yeah, the 2 minute 24-second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the potato behind the find out.
Yeah, so go to the end, the very end, and you'll see my talking potato head like pop up.
If anyone wants to tune into this, just search Insanely Fun Arc Titan Build.
Or just search ZyoniK Destiny, and you'll see. Yeah.
Oh, I did see it. That's funny.
But then like.
Oh my God.
People started, I was getting all self-conscious about it because people were like, that potato's really dumb. Like, don't do that. That community is ruthless, man. They are like, they'll speak their mind. And so I stopped doing it. But yeah, I had fun with it. Destiny's a game I've played year in, year out. I have 3 games I always play. Like, I always play Pokemon Go. I always play Destiny and World of Warcraft, but I play them when a new expansion drops. So like a World of Warcraft expansion is like every 2 years, and then I'll play for the first month just to learn the story, level up my character that I've had for 20 years, and like have fun. Boom, gone for another 2 years. Destiny, I come back a little bit more if the content is interesting. But it's been pretty dry lately, so yeah.
I know back in the day too, I remember, if anyone listened to the podcast a long time ago, we talked about this in early episodes, but you used to also stream, was it Call of Duty or something? It was like back, like I think even before you were married, but you were on the army base streaming it. I remember.
Yes,
you had a separate Twitch channel, I think, right?
I did.
Like, I forgot the name.
How do you know this stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I just like it just all came flooding back to me. Random things were stuck in my brain.
So my first ever content creation was in 2016. I was in the Air Force station in Guam, and PUBG had come out. Right. Players Unknown Battleground. Yeah. And that took over the first-person shooter world. Like, that was huge. And so I streamed that. I would have, back then I used to wear baseball caps, so I'd have my like New York Yankees like baseball cap in my apartment, and it was all echoey, and I'd have like 2 viewers, one of which was myself, and then someone who wouldn't talk, but I was playing, and I'd have like buddies I'd play with. Cool story. Like it never took off, never became anything, but it was like of my first try at content. But my buddy and I, Sam, we got into the top 10 on the leaderboard for the Oceania server for duos. We were nasty in PUBG back in the day, like in the early days. It was super fun. I had so much fun playing that game. But yeah.
People still play that game too, which is wild. But it's like you can't play ranked in North America servers because no one plays ranked. So they'll like VPN to like EU server to play ranked, which is kind of crazy. But
yeah, and PUBG Mobile is like massive. It's huge. It's very huge in, I think, Asia and India. Yeah. It's like these guys there. I remember thinking like, oh man, I wonder how PUBG's doing. I looked it up and I saw PUBG Mobile. I'm like, what is this? And it was someone, I'm guessing, from India or a language from there. It wasn't a language it wasn't English, but the accent, I'm like, okay, it's coming from that region of the world. It was like a mobile game where he's just blasting his way through, and it's got like 300,000 views in 2 hours. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff with like, young Americans being like, oh, what's more popular, Fortnite or PUBG around the world? And all of the Americans are like, Fortnite. And then it's like, nah, it's Asia, bro.
it's just PUBG, like American football and football,
Yeah. No, it's kind of wild, especially like some of the older games as well too. I mean, I was trying to find your old Twitch channel, but I like do not remember the username at all at this point.
I got like 3 Twitch channels because I keep forgetting the email that I have selected in the login. So I keep creating new ones. And so anytime I create one, I'm like, okay, this is the email, this is the login. I somehow misplace it. And then I'll go into someone's stream of the community. It says ZyoniK or ZyoniK _ or ZyoniK6. And they're like, that's not the real ZyoniK. Stop faking them. And I'm like, it's me. Like,
yeah, every time. You don't have any history on your channel with old streams or clips.
No history, no nothing. They're like, stop trying to pretend to be ZyoniK. I'm like, all right, how do I prove it? And this must have been a couple years ago. I had to like take a screenshot of the stream and then post it on my Twitter account. And they're like, oh, okay, it's you. I won't ban you. I'm like, thanks, I appreciate it.
But yeah, it just, when I was trying to find it, I just saw that some guy I follow on Twitch, his name is Mr. Llama SC. He streams Diablo 2 content, and they remastered a game like a couple years ago, but this is a game from the 90s, and he still streams on a regular basis this game, and he still pulls in like 900 viewers consistently, like watching this. Like, so I was just thinking, we're talking about like old games, right? And I was just like, man, it's crazy how like dedicated some people are, to a game this old. Like, he has over almost 4,000 videos on his YouTube channel, and it's just mostly all Diablo 2. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's when you know a good game was made.
It was a really good game. I mean, they made Diablo 3 and 4, and he still plays Diablo 2. He's played others, but like, it's just like
Diablo. Oh yeah, let's not talk about Diablo 4.
I haven't. I bought it, but I still haven't played it. I bought it like 2 years ago.
You're not missing anything.
I bought it like probably shortly after 100th episode, because that's when it is. I think it came out right after that.
Yeah.
And it's not good. I heard the third one's bad too, but I never played that one either.
It's not. No, it's not. It's been. I haven't played it. I play Path of Exile.
Yeah.
I like Path of Exile too. But I've heard not great things. But the thing is, like, it's great if you just want to casually kind of go through. But if you're looking for that min-max kind of, different options to choose from, tons of different builds, it's not really the place to go. It's more like a conveyor belt of like, you're a mage, here you go, choose Fireball or Blizzard, move along, like,
I see.
Yeah. It's still fun if you want to put up big numbers and blast everything, like you're gonna do that.
Yeah, the most I see about Diablo 4 these days is Elon Musk occasionally posting him playing it. That's about it. Whether it's him actually playing or not is
I was gonna say,
times. Sometimes it looks like it's him, but
I laughed so hard when I saw that because he's like, Diablo, you could get away with it because Diablo, you can just run around.
Yeah.
He was like a bear or a guardian or whatever.
Druid,
you can run around and it doesn't look like anything. But in Path of Exile 2, like there's so much intricacy and end game content. Like, so it's astronomical how much knowledge you need to have to be able to get to the level of like level 97 top 10 on the hardcore leaderboard. Like, and then he's sitting there trying to like click a map and like not knowing that he can't do it because he's trying to click a map when he has to do the one in between because it's a connect the dots thing. Yeah, it was funny.
Oh yeah, because he plays Path of Exile too. I think I've seen him.
Well, he plays it, but he has someone play his account for him, and then he'll log in and play it. Yeah.
That's wild. Hardcore mode is pretty nuts too. For those that don't know, it's in Diablo, I assume similar to Path of Exile. If you die like once, your account's dead. Like you can't go back in, and it'd be like doing Go Battle League, and if your Pokemon gets knocked out, it's deleted. You can't use it again.
So you're nuzlocking it. Okay,
exactly. Yeah. But you might have spent like hours to years grinding this account, and one death, and it'll just be the end of it. So, I have I've done it before, and then my account died at one point, and I just I remember I stopped playing Diablo for years after that because I was so close. But
I could never. No shot.
That's the fun part, It's a little risk. A little risk, yeah. That's the ultimate wager.
It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah. But anyway, so obviously, you casted not just EUIC, right? Didn't you cast Liverpool last year as well, or something?
I did, yeah.
And then you casted EUIC this year as well, which I know the meta shifted quite a bit too and everything. I thought you did a great job as always too, but how was that whole experience too? Because I think it was shortly after your break, right? From making content for the game.
Yeah, it was after my break. Daniel, how these things work out too, for everyone that doesn't know, is you get asked months in advance. This isn't the week before, hey, do you want to come up and do it? It's no, you get messaged in the streams in February, March, and you're asked, December, November, the year prior, that kind of thing. And obviously I love Play Pokemon. That was the whole reason why I started creating content, was to help get us to the point where we're actually at Play Pokemon, because I'm this could be a thing. Look at us at Soph. Just put us at Play Pokemon because it's there. And so I love doing EUIC. It was fun as always. The meta's always changing. I mean, the year before we had Shadow Magnezone from Palasha blasting, and I literally I'm Shadow Magnezone. I literally powered it up walking back to the hotel. I was powering it up after watching her battles, and I'm this is great. And this year was great to see. I loved seeing the fact that there was Primeape and Annihilape in the top 3 on the Championship Sunday, because usually the mid evolution, it's either one or the other, right? You don't have both. You don't have Machoke and Machamp. Or what have you, but it's both are actually viable, and it's all because of Rage Fist, and it was cool to see that both those Pokemon could compete. But yeah, the event was super fun. I didn't have speakers blasting in my ear this year, which was great. We had the headphones.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's always EUIC is always fun. The energy there, and it's great.
It always caps out too. I feel like it's by far the biggest tournament every year.
Yeah, every year I got to say this is the biggest tournament to date. Every year I'm we're at 200 next year. We're at 300 next year. We're at 400. Just keeps getting bigger.
Well, I think I think that trend will continue unless NAIC does something crazy this year, which I don't
I haven't
know,
looked
but
at it lately. Let's see where the numbers are for NAIC this year.
Also,
it-
I always am suspicious if we don't sell it right away. I just know that there's going to be some that are probably just people that want to spectate, and the spectator passes are out, so they're just going to buy Go tickets and stuff. But
310
it's not bad
for
It's not bad.
NAIC currently.
USC capped at 400 this year, right? If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. So
Yeah.
310 is still quite sizable. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I
for
think
those-
I think EUIC is always going to be a bit bigger than NAIC.
yeah.
Like,
It's true.
It's just going to be because there's a lot of trainers in Europe, and it's easy to kind of travel.
Yep.
And I know NA has a lot of trainers too, but what I find is that a lot of the top NA trainers come across anyways, and it's kind of easy. That extra like 80 people come across the pond to compete, like Nighttime Clasher and Rise and Dunebug and it's Accent, and they all come over. But then EU's like, a train ride away, or just a short plane ride, like an hour. So they come out of the woodworks to get those points, and it's shown every year. It's great.
Yeah, it's definitely more centrally located too, even for people in the Middle East or Africa as well too. The couple trainers I know that come over from that area, and a couple trainers from Asia too actually went to UIC this past year, which was this current year, I guess, which was pretty nice as well too.
I don't know how many more years it'll be in New Orleans, but I will say, like, New Orleans for NAIC it's difficult. It's a little difficult for like everyone in the US to navigate to. I live in the South, so it's easier for me.
Yeah.
It's like a fairly short drive, but like I can understand why it's a little bit more difficult for like the rest of the country.
Well, what's the more ideal location in your mind, Kaz, out of curiosity? Because maybe someone from the Poco company's listening. They're like, "Oh, great idea. We'll pencil for later."
Maybe, but I mean, I think you got to look at like either the coastal cities, like somewhere around New York or in the Northeast up there, where there's already a lot of easy travel access, or like somewhere in the Midwest, like Chicago. I always thought they had Go Fest there every year, and I always thought that was actually a pretty good location.
Yeah. That could be a good spot too. I think they're expensive places to host.
It's very true. Yeah. Like there's a reason they picked somewhere in the South. It's because we cheat, baby.
Yeah. Well, I also don't know like the venue size as well on like things as well too. Like I don't know what the biggest venue is in New York or Chicago and stuff, but
venue's a big venue's probably the number one thing that they filter through, I would think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, while I lived in New York City, I went to New York Comic Con every year, and like the Javits Center is absolutely massive. So I mean, certainly if they wanted to host it in a city like that, like they are capable of finding the place, but I do think the price point is a lot higher.
Yeah. I think for some insight, this actually happens it happened, I guess, in Australia, where they've actually been quite explicit. So back in the past, we used to have Sydney Regional Championships, and Sydney is like the most populous city. It's the easiest one for most of the country to actually get to. It's sort of like the obvious city to host events in. But what ended up happening is they cut it, and we didn't have Sydney Regionals anymore. And everyone was like, what the heck, man? Why aren't we getting Sydney Regionals? And they sort of said, like ESL Australia, who runs them, kind of just straight up said, look, with the money we had, we could either host 3 regionals, so we can host, Perth, Brisbane, Melbourne, or we could host 1 regional and Melbourne. That's just because, 1 regional in Sydney, because Sydney just costs like twice as much to host an event in than any of the other ones. So I'm sure that it's like the exact same thing across, in the US and also anywhere else, right?
Yeah. And congratulations on hosting that one this year. I saw all the photos and stuff you shared of like behind the scenes, like it's great because I love that kind of stuff where you guys are putting it together to make things happen for the community. It's really cool.
It's a bit more like those old Sylph days, right? Sort of reminiscent of I still remember that stream with you and King, right?
I mean, Caleb was there on the first Play Pokemon stream that we did. It was very reminiscent of that too.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. They did a great job of capturing the stuff like esque without making it look makeshift, but It was we were in the back. I just remember it was TCG and BG in the front, and then we were tucked in the back. But it was great though. I mean, honestly, that was more professional than anything I've ever been a part of, and it's only gotten better ever since. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyway, I think Tristan maybe had a question for you, but we'll let him ask whenever he can. Like I said earlier,
Hey,
there's
no battles on the
probably
street
about like a
corner
10
though, at
plus second
least.
delay.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I
can
was
you
thinking about that.
I don't know how it
I
got.
was
I don't know how
opening
the
up
delay
gifts.
got extra bad this week, but
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it's extra long.
We're
but
working on it. We're working on it.
It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I appreciate you
back on
being
the
here, Tristan.
back on the
Are you I'm guessing you're talking about
back on the
Chicago.
topic of EUST and NAIC.
Okay.
Yeah. I was talking about Chicago, but I was just gonna say real quick. I feel like there's a lot more NA players that travel to EUIC than Europeans that travel to NAIC.
Yep.
Which I think is a little
Yep.
interesting too.
Yeah, I think that's what makes up the 80 difference between 310 and 400. I think it's those
I don't think it's 80. I feel
yeah.
like there's
You're
usually
right that
I feel like there's like 20 to 30 North Americans that travel probably. So it doesn't quite make up the 80, but it's part of it for sure. Though in fairness, I think
yeah.
NAIC gets more
I'm
Latin
like
American players
bird's eye
than
view
UIC
making a
does,
guess
so
here, but
I don't know how those numbers all shake out.
yeah. But there is definitely a crew that comes over and they're like walking through. You know, sometimes you see them all together in the at the XL Center. So for anyone who hasn't been there, the XL Center is this massive facility where it's split into like two massive like half-mile long halls. But the center has like this whole like all these food and coffee and all these kind of places, and you'll see groups of people walking together as they go up and down, and you can like see like the little NA crew like moving together when they're walking through. It's like they're just rolling up together to to AUIC. It's great.
Yeah, that's I'm curious too to see after this year how things will look for next year's NAIC participation, because assuming the world's qualification is similar or the same, because I feel like there's going to be probably a decent amount of, maybe not a decent amount, I don't know how many, but there will be a couple, at least a handful of European trainers that are on the cusp of like have qualified for worlds, like are in that top like 50 or whatever, but then right after NAIC they're dropped out of it, right? And
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to incentivize more to participate in NAIC the following year, because it's a tough position for them to be in, because like sure, like I don't want to buy a ticket to go across the pond to compete when I've already qualified, because I'm already saving money to travel to worlds, right, in also North America. And but like it's also like it's a kind of a double whammy if they bought their ticket for worlds and then they end up not qualifying because they didn't go to NIC and they got outperformed by some Europeans going. And obviously like you could only spectate how many spots you may drop if you don't go to NIC, and some of your people from your region do as well, but you don't know how many people are going, right? Like none of the EU trainers know exactly how many of the EU trainers are a part of that 300 something players right now that are registered.
Mm-hmm.
So what if it's a lot more than they expect and then just get bumped out a lot, right? Or also they're probably performing, like they got to perform, right? But I'm sure, unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of people from within the same region are probably rooting against people in their region, because they're like, dude, the less points you get, the higher chance I'm going to be able to lock my spot in or my travel award, et cetera, et cetera. So I do wonder if that ends up happening a lot this year, if more people will end up participating in NAIC next year, kind of as that last hurrah. But
yeah, I think this year is going to be interesting because I don't want to call anyone out specifically because I don't want to put any like knock on wood, like any bad situations where they think they've already got a spot and then they don't. But I have seen EU players talk about how they've secured their spot, but they're close. And I'm like, but there's still some more tournaments left and some big ones. Which it's like, it's a good and bad thing. I think it's good because it makes competition better. And I talked about this at EUIC. I was like, the battles this year, every single battle, even day one, when you kind of get the known competitors up there, they were like championship day battles against each other. They weren't holding any punches. Whereas before, if someone already secured their spot for Worlds, they just kind of relaxed, and you could see it in the gameplay. They weren't as aggressive with some of their plays that they normally are. And so by forcing everyone to get points accumulated, every fight was championship Sunday caliber. It didn't matter if it was Marto or Tauntaun Battus or Emmy Weedle. Like, no one was safe. I mean, Marto's safe. Let's be real. Like,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. It forced them to get good, or not get good, but it forced them to always compete every battle for every point. But on the flip side, you have to travel a lot, and some people can't, and that's like, so that means they have to like win the tournament to get that invite. But yeah.
It's not particularly easy. It's also, with only 50 slots for the European region too, it's a little bit more competitive, I think, right, than 75 for NA. Obviously, there might be more total NA players, but I think for the ones that attend frequently at the tournaments, the numbers are probably more comparable, is my guess. Like, Anacor's a great example, right? He's at 38 right now, but if he doesn't go to any future tournaments, he could easily drop under that 50 mark, right? Obviously, some guaranteed invites for EU are factored into that, but that could and what's he going to do, right? I don't know if he bought his ticket or not for Anaheim, but the problem is if he didn't get a spectator ticket for it, and well, he knows enough people, so he probably could get one from someone he knows, but like, it's just like he's already planning on going in, trying to compete or whatever, and then his plans just change right after NESC I'm sure it could be a stressful time, but
that's actually the part that I hate the most about it, in that you don't know whether you should be booking your flights and hotel and stuff until after NAIC. So you have to wait until like after June to book this travel for August. And so like I was going to spectate regardless, right? And so I booked my stuff literally when it was announced. I booked a year ago, but for people that won't attend if they're not going to compete, it's a pretty rough spot to be, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you say that, Steve, but after this past weekend, you actually have a decent amount of points. Where are you at on the leaderboard for Oceania?
I'm at 14th on the Oceanic leaderboard now.
Okay, so and it's what, top 10?
Yeah, top 10.
10?
So at the moment, like, it's top 11 because of the auto invite that's in there as well. Yeah. So I'm actually really close.
Yeah,
it's we're within striking distance. Is
that top 12?
Yeah,
maybe
you can do it.
No. There's another one who's like not in the top 11 that has an auto invite.
Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense. Anyway, that's
Tristan did have a question too.
Yeah. So his question is, Tristan's question is, if you think for you, ZyoniK, if you think you might try to cast more regionals going forward, or kind of more sticking to like EUIC and stuff. And I'm sure family and travel is
so the big
that, right?
The big limiter, like, obviously if it was just me, I'd be traveling as much as Caleb and Will and Butters. Like, I'd be all over doing the tour. But with the family, it puts a lot of stress on my wife to be able to take care of the kids for 5-6 days, because we usually have to get there like a day or two before the actual tournament starts. And then there's the tournament, which is like 2-3 days. And then you got to get back. So it's always like a 5-6 day run. And so she's by herself with 2 children. And then her mother can sometimes come help for a couple of those days, but then she can't be here like the whole time. So at this point in time, with like it's all about my children's age, about what I can do as they get older and become more, self-efficient, and not that they're 8, 9, 10-year-olds, not a 4-year-old. Then I could cast more, but right now I just can't. So the best thing I can do is get a train ticket for an hour and a half down to London, do EUIC, and if I have to come back for any reason, some kind of emergency or whatever, I'm literally an hour and a half train ticket away to help my family. So that's what works for me, and that's why you guys haven't seen me cast all over. I would love
that
to be
makes
going
sense.
everywhere, but I just can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
competing? Do you ever see yourself
I
actually
think the answer is you
playing
gotta get
in
the
a
kiddos to
tournament?
compete. Yeah.
It's there is a multi-year long-term plan unfolding. You just got like
He's
Right.
waiting for Idris to be released.
watch out for my son, okay?
True.
He's all right. He's on another level, okay?
Yeah.
He
You'll go from
him
like
and I-
not competing at all and only casting the local stuff to traveling all over the world with your kids. As they
Yep. I'm telling you guys, it's about age. Right now, they're in the we're young children. We're still learning. And you got to really kind of, it's like bumper bowling parenting. Like you really got to have those guardrails up and help them move along every day. But as they get older, like my son is a very competitive person, like very, I'm talking to the extreme. He's autistic as well. But his autism superpower is competition. And I love my son. He is absolutely amazing. He's like, if you guys seen Big Bang?
Mhm.
Uh,
The show.
Big Bang
no,
Big
only
Bang
like
Theory,
one episode,
the
yeah.
show. Yeah, not the start of the universe.
No,
I saw that. It was overrated.
I missed that by a couple years myself.
No, so the show, there's a character on there called Sheldon, who's very smart, but he doesn't have like great social skills. But you can tell he's a genius on the show. He's much smarter than his friends. But he has these like quirks. Like he always has to have his seat. That's his spot. That's where he is. It's kind of like how my son is. My son's like Sheldon. But his thing, instead of kind of like science right now, it's competition. So we do Pokemon battles, we do racing, other kinds of stuff. That's what like drives him, is competition. And I was doing a battle. We were doing Master League the other day, and this guy save swapped on me. He's 5. He caught a move. Like we're battling, and I did. I had my Kiram fusion out, the ice one, and I did the, what is it called, ice flare,
Ice burn or
Ice
fusion
burn.
flare?
No, ice burn, the ice
Yeah.
the ice move. Yeah, I
Mhm.
did ice burn, and he had a Rhyperior out that was just like getting chunked with
Mhm.
ice fangs, and I get to the mind you, he's not counting moves, he's not at that stage yet, but we're side by side, right, with our phones, just sitting next to each other on the couch, and I go to click, and he swaps to Metagross and catches the move, and I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, you're 5. You just safe swapped on your dad. Like,
That's
all right, here we go. He doesn't have an account yet. He plays ours, but he loves competing. He loves Pokemon. So yeah, one day you may see us traveling around together competing. That would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I mean, and you were saying how your kids were playing, VG as well too, right? So
Yeah.
there's a couple avenues even with TCG as well. So a possibility. Tristan
Yeah.
mentioned that
My-
junior division starts at 6 years old, he believes, for VG and TCG. So
Yeah.
Obviously,
I know they
not
don't have
for
a juniors
Go,
division
but,
for
yeah.
Go, but there's like an age minimum, which is weird because I'm just
Yeah.
like. I was like, why is the age minimum not just 6 then if there's no juniors and seniors division, right? But I don't know. There might be something related to that.
Yeah, it's
more
a
so.
digital age of consent thing.
Yeah, maybe that's what it
Mhm.
is. But anyway,
Yeah.
definitely training some
Yeah, my
Pokemon
my
masters.
goal would be to, because obviously, like, London's EUIC is like a central hub for all of Europe. It's a fantastic venue, and I wouldn't be surprised if they just keep going with it every single year.
Yeah.
So my goal is when they're kind of get a bit older to start taking them down there. So if they want to go one year and maybe not even compete, but just like maybe my wife and us and we go down, maybe I don't cast it that year and we go down and we enjoy the event, you know, or maybe my son wants to compete, right? Maybe that the Pokemon Champions, right, coming out on mobile where it's going to be the new battle thing, like maybe he goes for that, or yeah, if he wants to. He may not, like he loves cars too, like so, find some Hot Wheels tournaments.
Well, I mean, the nice thing about the Play Pokemon Championship Series events is that, I mean, aside from competing, there is a ton of other stuff to do, you know?
Yeah.
The Atlanta regional recently, I had a friend who is just a very casual Go player. Like, she's not interested in competing at all, but she always gracefully listens to me talk about it. And she came and had a great time. Like, she did a bunch of side events. We did coloring pages together, you know, and you get to meet other Pokemon players and hear their stories. And so, I mean, that's the good thing, is that like once they do get a little bit older, is there's a whole other like way, like avenue for them to explore and just figure out what they want to do, you know, if anything.
Yep. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Tristan said Paulie Palmer's up took his son to the Atlanta Regional Hangout, and his son had this time all weekend. Yeah. And his son
Mini Paulie still has not opened my gift, okay? We became friends so he could do a scavenger hunt.
Sounds like a personal problem. He be opening my gifts pretty frequently, Kaz.
I'll have some words with his father.
Yeah, but as Paulie described it to him, I'm the guy that beat the world champ. You know, one time I faced Accent on stream, right? That's how I'll take it. It was my peak. But yeah, no, his son was born. I'll always remember this. It was like shortly right before PvP dropped, like December 2018. So that's why I always know like roughly like his son's age. So his son's age probably similar to your kid's age as well too. As a reference point, because I remember he would when it was before PvPoke was out or any other like websites and stuff, and Paulie would just be like, his son would be sleeping on him, and he would be like with one hand just like simulating and writing stuff in a spreadsheet on like different matchups for Pokemon and stuff like that, and he would send me this spreadsheet, and I was just like, he's like, don't tell anyone this, right? It's just for me and you and stuff like that, like, you know. And I was like, dude, I don't know what the heck this spreadsheet means. Like, I was like, your secret's safe with me, because I don't even know what to say. Like, it's just a bunch of numbers and like, you know, shield.
Let me see if I can get. I think I might have a notebook up here that was my 2019, like January, February, before like PvPoke notebook, and I had.
Snap.
Yeah, let's see if I can find it. Hold on.
Yeah, that is. That's pretty wild. You know, I think I mentioned this before too. The two of the first Pokemon I used when PvP first came out was Acid Victory Bell. So, you know, I wasn't even that toxic. I was using Acid, not Razor Leaf. I think it was before it had Razor Leaf, or before they buffed Razor Leaf to make it good. And Spiritomb. The Spiritomb I used earlier this season was actually the same Spiritomb I made back in the day. It's like 1475 CP, like 15, 14 or something, like 98%. It's the only one I had. But I was just like, oh, this thing's only weak to fairy, so
no, I don't have it up here.
Rip.
But what I would do is create kind of like a little. So I'd have a Pokemon like a Azumarill, and I would have an arrow that pointed down, and I would write Pokemon that would beat it. So like Venusaur, right, beats it.
Steve does that now for his YouTube videos.
Yeah. And it was actually, it was on my YouTube videos. That's how I would do the guides of then this Pokemon from like a 45-degree angle could beat it, but it like wasn't like a hard win. Like there was wiggle room, right? So like Shadow Victory Bell into Swampert is here, right? And then like Venusaur into Azumarill is kind of here because Azumarill has Ice Beam. And then there's the mirror match where it's kind of 50-50. And I would be battling myself with my wife's account, and I would use the different Pokemon. Yeah. That's how I taught myself.
That's crazy. It's hardcore.
That's even more impressive because you had to do like the crazy super hard tap
Oh, true.
man, I would have like cramps in. I think I got like slightly injured doing it. Like I had like a muscle strain on it. So
yeah,
I
the
would like
carpal tunnel. Yeah.
yeah. So I would try my left hand instead, and that was way harder. Like I wouldn't hit the excellence as much. I remember Purple Kyogre would
Yeah.
talk about it too back in the day. He'd be like, "Oh, like is it just me or like I can't consistently hit excellence like because it's just like so much work and stuff." And then people
Yeah,
just
I'm
like,
so glad they changed it
tap
to
harder.
the bubble system.
Yeah.
I know because if
Mhm.
can you imagine like on broadcast and stuff, like you're seeing these player cams, right? They're like tapping. They're like,
the memes
Right,
on
like-
Play Pokemon
Yeah.
we would never live that down.
I mean, we
Never.
would legit be like tap, go, whatever. Yeah, like all the memes have stated over the years. But
Yeah.
that was a true like tap fest for sure. And then your
It was.
adrenaline's pumping because like you're like, oh shoot, I gotta make this crazy play. Do you remember the old Switch trade? That was
Yeah.
Oh
crazy.
yeah. You had
Yeah.
to click the
Catch
button to
back
bring
then,
up the
it was
Switch tray.
so
nuts, yeah.
Click the
Oh
button.
my God.
So
I
you
Yeah.
overtapped
actually
that
get
so many times too.
I almost forgot about that. Oh my god.
Yeah. And remember their typings used to not be above?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
true.
Oh yeah.
If you
Yeah.
look at the old interface, it's actually changed quite a bit, which for the
Me-
better too. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if
I
there's
remember-
anything else. I'm gonna go to my channel real quick.
Yeah. If you,
I remember
old,
tweeting
like-
out a screenshot, like an old screenshot of like, does anyone else remember this? And it's so different. It looks like,
So
like, if we're being real, it looks so much worse. Like it just
Oh,
does
yeah,
not look
100%,
as good.
which is how it should be, right? After this many years, after
Yeah.
6 years or so. But like, it's so bad that if there was like, honestly, if there was one turn lag or any like latency stuff, you wouldn't even be able to tell in some of the older stuff.
Nah.
You know.
No.
Wait,
No.
can you guys see images in this chat? No, I can't.
No, I'll post it to our group chat so they can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I,
That's pretty nuts.
That was my first YouTube video.
Wow.
I worked a construction job. It's January in England, and so I have like multiple layers because I either just got home or I'm about to go out to work. And it's like the most sad thing is it's the same. No, it's not the same camera. No, it might be the same camera that I had. But I had the ratios wrong and Boulder Cup. It was actually really nice because I actually did. It was the only like vlog I did where like my wife and I are walking through the train station. She went to this tournament with me. Like she walked there. Like we went down into London. We took the train, went to a Starbucks, and battled. I remember MJ Shafiq. I don't know if you guys know him.
I remember
but
that guy. Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, he's
He's,
great.
like, retired,
great
right?
battler. He won.
Yeah.
Won that tournament. This was 2 Medichams, double Skarmories. The first guy I faced off, John the Duck, has 2 Skarmories, a Medicham, a Macargo, a Marshtomp, and a Steelix. Yeah, here's the screen.
Yeah, I obviously I've thrown a picture for the YouTube version for those that haven't seen a picture ZyoniK from that one, and oh my gosh, yeah, just looking at the battle screens too, it's crazy from back then. You can check out any of the old school YouTubers like ZyoniK or myself and see some of the stuff if you're curious. But it
Oh my
it's been
god,
wild.
yeah.
You know, I will say, you look like you haven't aged at all. Like if you put that same cap on and make the same expression, you would probably look
Mhm.
exactly the same, just with higher quality with this camera potentially.
A bit more
But-
face fat, but yeah.
yeah, it's really not. I mean, like I would have guessed it. I mean, I don't know. I don't have kids myself, but like I'm sure kids are a lot of work too. But like in sometimes that ages
Yeah.
people, but you don't look like your kids.
I
are
appreciate
stressed out
that.
at all.
I like to always believe in my head that I'm gonna age so well. That's what I've always believed. For like when I was younger, I was like, I looked at old people, and I see they're just like torn down and just like the weight of years. You can see it in them.
Mhm.
But then I'd see other old people who are like vibrant and alive and just like I'm gonna be that one. I'm gonna be the guy that ages well, that's goofy and happy at 70, 80 years old. And maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Maybe it's the coffee I have every morning. I don't know.
That's true. I remember your
Something
morning
in the
coffee stuff.
espresso.
Yeah. Well, was it because I think there was a few times where we did record in my evening, your morning, and you always had your coffee routine too, which was
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that
Okay.
doesn't change.
Yeah. Okay, who knows? Okay, let's take a quick break here and we're going to head down to Cass's corner. So I talked briefly. It's our little fun segment here, and Cass will explain the rules.
Yeah,
I'll let
I was
her-
going to say,
yeah.
it's my corner, Caleb. Thank
Yeah,
you
yeah,
very
yeah.
much.
My bad.
So-
Overstepping here.
Every week, I ask the lads a question based on the Pokedex in the Go app. Like not any other like game. I'm just basing it off of what is
Okay.
the information in Go, just
That's
to
good.
see how familiar everybody is.
Okay.
So what I agreed with them, because they get points. We keep track of like where their points are based on the week. So if you get it right, ZyoniK, you get to decide who gets your points.
Oh, nice.
Trust me, they're really hard though. we usually get them all wrong.
What we've learned throughout this is that no one reads the Pokedex.
We're
What kind of
approaching almost a
trainers are
year
we?
right now, and no one even has double digits in points. So,
Nope.
Wow.
so.
So
Okay.
we're not allowed to open up our phones or anything like
You're
that.
not
You
allowed
can
to
Google
open
an
up
image
Go.
of the Pokemon. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, you can Google like literally just an image of the Pokemon to give yourself like a visual reference, but no opening your game, no opening like Cerebi or any other resource with the actual text. So this week's question is going to feature our newly announced Community Day Pokemon for May, Pawmi.
Oh.
So Pawmi, like many of the electric rodents that we have seen in the game before, does have electric like storing pouches in its cheeks, but it actually charges those like in a special way. So how does it actually charge the electric energy in its cheek pouches?
Pour me specifically.
Pawmi
Yeah.
specifically.
This is where Googling image kind of helps sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. Zion, did you have something you want to add to that, or?
Oh
This
no,
is
I just
the
have an
dance.
answer.
Okay. No. So type it out to me, and then don't send it yet. And then when Cass counts us down, just send it, and then we'll read off all the stuff because we usually you.
Oh yeah,
quick with it,
that's a good thing. So yeah, just in your chat with Caleb, just type out your answer, but wait to send it until I count everybody down. And they will all send their answer, like they'll type out their answers in our chat. And when everybody has theirs ready, I will count us down and everybody hits send at the same time.
So the question is, how does Pawmi charge up electricity to fill his cheeks and stuff?
Yeah, how does it charge up its cheek pouches?
I've got an answer. Ready
I'm trying
to
to
go.
find the answer in GIF form.
Okay,
Type it
I'll
out
actually
as well,
find a GIF
just
as
in
well.
case I don't understand.
No, GIF is better.
The GIF.
Okay. I've got a GIF of mine as well.
All right. Well, if Tristan's ready, I'm ready too. We can have Kaz count us down.
I'm not ready. Hold on.
I don't know if this is like so obvious and
How does it charge up?
'Cause
the
you all came up with this
electricity in its
quick.
cheeks?
Yeah.
This is definitely easier than the atmospheric conditions question I asked last week about
Hey.
Jumpluff.
I got a point for that one.
You
So,
did, Steve.
Yeah. Last week's question was what force does Jumpluff use to traverse, to move around? Again, because it moves up one way, it moves down one way, and it turns out it's all about atmospheric, temperature
All
of the
about-
air, whether it's
All about that temperature.
kind of.
So,
Do I send it to you, Caleb?
Yeah. We'll have Kaz count us down. We'll all just send it.
Okay.
yeah, I think I'm just waiting to get confirmation that like Tristan is ready to send.
Yeah.
Once I have that, we will be good to go.
Yeah. He's thinking hard.
Tough question.
Did they announce what move Pawmi will have or the evolution?
Brick
whatever?
break.
Break.
Oh, brick break. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's relevant for anything.
Which
but
we
it's,
I feel like we have to talk about also our bet
We do.
involving Community Day.
yeah.
Yeah. Every quick little story because it has to do with Palmy. My daughter, when she
Alright,
wakes up
I
in the
guess
morning, the
there's
first thing
something.
she asks is to open up Pokemon Go to catch the Pokemon at the house. She likes to do the collection. She's a collector. She'll scroll
Right.
through the Pokedex and just like, Daddy, you don't have this. I'm like, oh, I don't want to use my candy on that right now.
yeah. I tried all my best palm meat yet, just in case.
Yeah. And so she opened up the app and it popped up today, Palmy Community Day, and she's like, oh, Dad, it's Palmy. That's amazing. I love it. Oh, yes. We're going to go there. It's Palmy. Because we just had the Vanillite and we walked around catching ice creams and they loved it. She's very excited for Palmy Community Day and she gets to get her shiny.
Cute.
Yes,
I'm glad she liked the vanilla community too, because that makes at least one of us.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, tell a 4 and 5-year-old that they get to catch a Pokemon that looks like ice cream. Dude, they're all over it.
Did they also
something.
Ask,
they're trying to
they
inspire
also
the new
ask
generation.
to get ice cream? Like,
No, they actually didn't.
Wow.
But when we caught the shiny, it was pink ice cream, and Alara just lost it. She loved it.
Right. Okay. Well, I think we're ready, so you can count us down.
Yeah.
Kaz.
yeah. Okay. So
Oh,
3.
I'm gonna put it in the chat. I was about to DM Caleb.
Oh wait, we can just put it in the Zencaster chat.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
we could.
true.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
cut
yeah.
and paste
True.
our answers.
You just can't send your gifts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
you
can't
can
send my
send them.
gifts.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Send. Okay. I've got one from Tristan. I've got one from Steve. I don't.
I'm C4. I see everyone.
That's me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you at
Yeah.
the top. Okay.
Yeah,
They came
yeah.
in a little bit slow. Okay.
Oh,
so
okay.
You're
It's
Tom
first name.
Caleb.
Yeah, it's a long story. I'll explain after the recording because
Well, this is a long podcast. Let's get into it.
So Caleb writes, it uses static shock to charge up its electric energy. ZyoniK writes, moves its feet on the ground to build up static. Steve writes, friction to generate static electricity. Friction? What? Friction of what, Steve? Like,
friction general.
What do you mean? Like anything? Like you can rubber along the ground. It's all.
Look, I kept it broad for a reason. Okay.
And then Tristan writes, it gets the energy from its front paws. And actually, ZyoniK and Tristan are right. It uses its paws to rub its cheeks to generate the electricity.
Oh, no, I'm technically wrong. I said ground.
No, you said
Move feet on
Oh,
ground.
move feet on the ground. Ah.
So I was looking for a gif of like someone's like.
Wait, so it's
No,
not
if it
static?
charges
It's
it.
not static shock,
no,
right?
yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, that
it-
is what it is, isn't it?
specifically,
Like-
it specifically uses its paws to rub its cheeks.
Well then, yeah, Tristan and Steve would be right then, right?
Because that.
Steve, friction from what?
So what I meant was like essentially similar to ZyoniK in like like I was sort of imagining like along the ground or something like that.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Like, you didn't specify, so it made me think that you were just thinking of like rubbing on anything.
But
Yeah.
isn't rubbing the paws on the cheek static
It's-
shock?
It is
I think
static.
if we really break this down, right? Tom Hank over here says uses
Tom's onto
static
something.
shock to charge up its electricity. Using its paws creates a static shock, which also is a friction, which Steve here represents. And then Tristan
It's like
says
a waterfall.
it
It's like a
gets energy from
cascade.
its paws. So all 3 of them are right, but I'm wrong because I put ground.
Well, I will read you the actual Pokedex entry reads, it has underdeveloped electric sacs in its cheeks. These sacs produce electricity only if Paw Me rubs them furiously with the pads on its paws.
Oh.
That's why
This doesn't
that's why
specify
like
static shock, but
yeah, that's why I'm going to say that Tristan is actually the only one that is
Right.
right, is because it specifically has to rub the paws.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Well
Generate,
done, Tristan.
yeah. Well, he is in the lead now. He does finally break double digits. He has 10 points. I have 8.
Wow.
Steve has 7.
I'm back here.
That's fine. It's not that big a difference.
You got Josh. I'm just really proud of you for last week. Still,
Yeah.
Thanks, Kaz.
My
I worked
biggest
hard.
fear was that Zion gets it right and gives a point to Steve, and he's tied up with me. So,
I was gonna say I was gonna give it for the whale. If I was to give a point, it would have been for the Whalmer back.
honestly, I was kind of hoping that he would get it right, so he could just like ruin Caleb's day.
Hey, it could have been to me. You didn't know that. I had to. just saying it would have been, but you never knew.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know. Okay, well, that's always a fun segment. But getting back to how things are going on your end of things. So you recently did a rebrand of your channel, and I watched your video on it too, and it was really cool. Unless you dropped another one like this morning, I think you.
No, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be. So basically, what's happening is the editor that I have works on a video, but obviously they have a full-time job, so they work on it like pieces every evening. So it's gonna take them like 2 weeks per video to kind of make it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to take that kind of editing style, but into a shorter version. So when I talk about, hey, I'm using this team, like a Tinkatongue team for the Great League, I'm going to edit that into like 3 minutes of that kind of editing. And then my shoutcast, while my editor does the bigger, like a video we're working on right now is, how Pokemon Go became an esport, right? Like that story arc, not only from our story arc of Sylph, but like the story arc of like, did you guys know Pokemon Go is actually originated from an April Fool's joke by Google? Like that all the way to play Pokemon World Championship. Like that kind of, but that's a longer, okay.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So.
Yeah, I like the style a lot too, and it's definitely. I think you've always had a good. I'm not sure if it's like your tone of voice, your cadence, or like all the above, but I think like newer trainers that don't know the game as well, you're like really good at explaining it. Like I think like for example, when you had to make like a spotlight video for the Pokemon company, right? That they play in between breaks and stuff. Like your video, like I don't know, something about it. It's just like it like is very easy to digest, right? The way you word things. So I think these kind of and this small spoiler for those who haven't seen it, you're talking about the worst Pokemon typing and how it became like a relevant Pokemon at Worlds, at regional, stuff like that too. And it's just like for those that don't know anything about it, they're like, what? But I think it's very easy to digest.
Yeah,
and
I appreciate that.
So.
I actually I tested it. I mean, whenever you make something, you look back and you critique it, whatever it is. Like you're like, oh, I could do this better. I could have done that better. So I'm already doing that for this video. I'm like, I could have done this. My hook could have been better. I did blah, 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 blah. But how I tested it on is I have a friend who doesn't Pokemon at all, like at all. And so I messaged him. I'm like, hey, watch this. Watch like the first like minute or so of this video, or minute or two, and then like tell me if you have any questions. And so he did that, and he's like, why would you use Charjabug instead of Vikavolt? I'm like, perfect. Because like he knows Pokemon, but he doesn't play Pokemon Go, right? But he plays. Right. That's kind of I was using him like he would have if I gave him like Charjabug won Worlds with Yakai, why is it not Vikavolt? Like that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, you're right. Keep watching.
No, I think that's great too, because when I remember this is when I cast in Milwaukee in 2022, and I don't know if the regional champion for VGC won this or not, or it was like a top performing Pokemon, but I think they won it with a Clefairy, and I'm just sitting here thinking like, why Clefairy over Clefable, right? I'm sure there's a good reason, but that's like something, because I don't play VG, so I don't know. And that's like, even if it's like weird, I still want to know the answer, right? So that's like such a good way to like bring people in, because like even if it's the case, you don't understand it, and everyone wants to understand why, right? Because they're just like weird things to see like on a competitive stage.
Yeah. So my reasoning for doing this is when I came back, I didn't want to just start doing GBL sets over and over, right?
Yeah.
What I wanted to
get
do
old after 6 years.
Yeah. I've done everything for GBL except for Master League.
Well, you were talking about Kieran White earlier, so maybe one day.
We'll get into that because my play style has changed. But essentially, I wanted no one was telling our stories, and I look to Wolfie VGC as my inspiration, and I'm watching how his channel has unfolded over the years. Because if you go back far enough, you don't have to go back too far. He's putting out like 3-4 videos a month.
Mm-hmm.
If you scroll back through and go back to his original videos, his videos are just like our Go Battle League community videos, where you got a head, or you maybe don't have a head, but you're just talking about something, and it's very just record and then upload kind of style, you know?
Yeah.
And at the time, play Pokemon for VGC wasn't that popular at that time. It wasn't that popular. And he changed his editing style to tell a story instead. And as that got bigger, his stories became more like anyone that plays Pokemon, watches Pokemon, sees this on YouTube, they could be curious and just learn. Like, I don't even play VGC competitively, and I'll sit there like, well, why Incineroar? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and the correlation of his videos taking off coincided with VGC players showing up to tournaments taking off.
Mm.
And so I thought, it's kind of like the Avengers, where Doctor Strange is like holding up his hand. He's like, we got one chance here. Scopely? If Scope, like, when I heard that news that Niantic actually passed the torch to Scopely, I'm like, we have a chance. It could go the other way,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a chance where they actually provide real game development to a feature that is on the esports stage and look to capture more players to use that feature, because they know that indirect spending is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Play Pokemon competitors are probably one of the top grossing spenders in the game when you think about every resource that we need to maintain to be able to, like, Tinkaton, right? This last event, how many eggs do you think Play Pokemon players or just GBL in a community hatched? How many incubators did we buy either now, like during that event, or previously, to load up to hatch those eggs, to get all the 7 kilometers, to get all your Tinkatons, maybe even on 2 phones? I'm not going to call anyone out. To be able to trade yourself, right? So we have indirect spending. And so if you can actually capture that as a game company and make more players want to use that feature, make it more accessible, because then you're incentivized to do more raids. You're incentivized to use the incubators, buy the Stardust. If you put a paid battle pass in there, for crying out loud, things start to take off. So I had that. I had a talk with Daniel. I looked at him. I'm like, about the rumor, and he's like, he didn't say anything, but I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't fake. Maybe it's true. So I got my brain thinking. He didn't say anything. TPCI, he didn't say a word. He is clean as a slate. But it got me thinking. So we have that, right? We have Scopely. And then we have accessibility. So players would need to get more accessibility. But then I'm like, to get people interested, because this was the third thing. Sorry, my brain's kind of jumping around.
That's all good.
If you look at a Play Pokemon event, so let's say EYC or NAIC, and you look at the hall, like if you guys go there, or Worlds, just take a moment and look at the hall and think, what game do they all have in common? Like, every single person in there, I guarantee you, has had Pokemon Go on their phone at one time or another. But not every person has competitive cards to play. Not every person plays Unite or has a Switch. Not every person has a Switch and plays VGC. But every person has a phone. Every person played Pokemon at one point. So we have the highest opportunity to get market share of players if we flip the script on the game to make it more accessible competitively. And so I'm like, okay, We got one shot at this. If Scopely actually comes through and does these kind of things as a business would want to do, then I want to do my part to make videos that makes it so that anyone in the sphere can kind of take a look and get interested and kind of turn their head. And maybe that works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm like, there's one shot. So I'm gonna try my best to tell our stories and help people get interested in Pokemon Go PvP.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really really clever too. I was scrolling down Wolfie's videos as well, and you know, he does a great job of growing the game a ton, right? And it's kind of exploded, and that's something that I would love to see for Go as well. And I mean, you've been there since the very beginning, right, of PvP.
Yeah.
You know, so you know all this like historical stuff, right? A lot of it's just like finding older clips and stuff, right? Especially like Sylph tournaments back in the day. Like, there's no like stream of that anymore, to my knowledge. But there's clips, I think, on the Sylph thing. But the full stream, I'm thinking about like the Worlds in Dortmund, Germany. Like, that was like one of the craziest tournaments, right? Chicago is like a whole different story. It is what it is. But the Dortmund, Germany, you know, Worlds tournament for Sylph that first year was really, really hype. And unfortunately, we just mostly have clips now. But that was the first time I've ever seen a peekaboo, actually. I forgot who it was, but they brought in like a shadow victory. It wasn't even shadow. They brought in regular victory bell, and then pulled out the Altaria last second, and like I just remember that moment so clearly because like you reacted to it, and King was like, "What even happened?" Right? Because like it happened so fast. But like those moments, right, back in the like from years ago, from some of the coolest plays back then. I mean, imagine pulling a peekaboo off now. Like you have to open the Switch tray. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. He had the Switch tray. He brought it in, had the Switch tray queued up, and then selected it out. It was wild. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate the new direction of the channel as well. Like watching the video, because like we've talked a lot on the podcast about how accessibility for Go is one of the biggest problems to its growth competitively. And I think that like videos like this definitely help. Like you were saying, you showed it to someone who doesn't know, who has no idea, and getting them to kind of like see it and come to that understanding. I think that's like one of the best ways we have to like encourage people, because the other thing is even if you go into like GBL on any given day and just use your favorite Pokemon, they're probably not going to be any good. So understanding like kind of what makes a Pokemon more meta than another is like, just another part of that accessibility issue that I think this really helps to tackle.
Yeah. And this is the thing too, like it's kind of like I love using metaphors. It's kind of like Narnia. Like once you have the roster, right? I think I must have like hundreds of Pokemon, just like you guys, that are competitively ready. Like the second they do an update, I'm like, cool, I've already got it. Or I've got the IVs locked and loaded because I have 7,000 Pokemon in my inventory that I never delete. Yeah. Like I'm ready to go, except for XLs. But it's like once you pass that threshold of the roster to compete, it then becomes very fun because you can mix and match different types of things. And the Play Pokemon or the VGC has it where you can use rental teams. So you can take someone's team and just copy it and then just go play. And I'm like, I know they want to farm us for like walking around and all this stuff, but I'm like, that felt like very Niantic of them, right? With how stuff was. And I'm like, I wonder if Scopely's going to be like, man, what if we monetized team copies? Like, what if, like you could, for the week of a GBL rotation, like we'll pull up 20 of the creators in the community, get teams from them, get their Pokemon with the IVs that they would want, and then you could sell like it's like 500 Pokecoins to rent this team for a week or something like that. Like how could like how much more accessible would stuff like that? I mean, it's then not free, but just ideas of like how could you get someone from point A to point B like quickly
think-
and get them battling.
I think even if they didn't want to like go so far as to like make that an option in the game on average, like any given day or rotation or whatever, certainly having something like that at a Play Pokemon event like they do with VGC
Yeah.
would be amazing. Like it would be
Yeah.
such a game changer for people that come to these events like not really knowing and then are curious enough to actually want to take part,
Yeah.
but then find out that they can't, you know.
Yeah.
So that would be, yeah, I think to me that would be incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I do think so.
Yeah. So
Play Pokemon is the one spot where you
Tristan.
can't use rental teams if I remember correctly, but
You could.
so like
you-
I don't
I
know
mean, I
if
guess you could
rental
just
teams
borrow a
would work
deck,
for the
right, for
official
TCG.
circuit. Yeah,
Yeah.
TCG is different, but for VG, I think you can't use rental team in play official tournaments, but you can use it for like ladder for
Well, not-
practicing and learning and stuff.
yeah.
Not
So
competitively.
like that's where I
I'm
think
just
the
talking
GBL
like a side
comparison would
event
be a good one.
to learn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's yeah, I don't know. The grind for Pokemon Go is just it's different than VG. Even if VG takes time and stuff, it's a different kind of context. You could just do it at the comfort of your own home. You don't have to drive to location. It's more accessible for people that don't have cars or aren't in like popping communities, right? With all this stuff, and also like, you know, getting the correct like IV spread of a Pokemon is like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a huge grind for Pokemon Go, right? If you're doing it like organically for
Yeah, the
lack of better
start
terms.
like, oh, I saw this video or saw this stream. I'm gonna load up Pokemon Go. My account, the last Pokemon I caught was
Yeah.
2019.
yeah.
I got nothing powered up, no candy, not a lot of
Uh-huh.
Stardust.
It's so
Like, how do you then
expensive.
go compete in GBL like that day?
Yeah,
Like-
it's so hard. Every time, like I one of my friends have, you know, a lot of people used to have accounts in this game and played years ago, right? And they try to get back into it, or they've been casually just playing. I'm like, dude, I can't even unlock a second move. Like, forget the candies, the Stardust, like, and then charge TMs is a problem for people that have been playing since day one. I mean, can you imagine what it's like for people that just got back into it? Like,
Oh my gosh.
that's anyway, Scopely. If you're listening,
if you're
if you're
listening.
listening, Scopely.
One
Yeah.
chance, guys.
There are
One chance.
as far as I'm aware, unless it's changed, because unless we like turn them off at this point, there are actual staff members from Niantic that listen to this podcast fairly regularly. So I know that maybe they aren't the people that can make all these decisions overnight, but you know, I'm sure there's
Well, I think-
there's at least someone listening, is what I'm saying. You know,
I think there's always a multitude of answers to a problem, but what's important is the developers and the company that's in charge of that. Because like, you have developers who want to do things, but then developers have bosses who coordinate with other entities in the company to make sure revenue stats are hit and growth is hit and this and that. So it's all about making all levels understand a problem, and then why the solution is so good to solve that problem. And that's when you start to see stuff happen, like really cool stuff happen. Like, a prime example, problem, COVID lockdowns, right? Players can't leave their house. Our game is dying. We have a problem. A solution to get everyone playing again and give us money is great enough to solve that problem. Enter in remote raid passes, right? It took the world by storm. I've never raided so much in my life. Like, sitting on my couch just all day long, just got a baby here, a baby there, and just like boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, like just raiding.
you clean it up in Master League GBL.
So it's all about them understanding that there is a problem. The problem with Go Battle League is accessibility. Someone opening up the game for the first time after a couple years, coming back, and how long is their time before they get into a battle with something that resembles competitive enough to be used. It doesn't have to be an XL Azumarill and a Shadow XL Sableye, but it should be something that can let them progress from level 1 to level 2, winning a couple battles. You know, like there's like get in there and get battling, because then you incentivize them to start progressing on the higher level stuff. Like you start incentivizing XL candy stuff, because then they're going to start seeing things they can work towards. But if that problem isn't seen by anyone who makes decisions, then it doesn't exist, which means we don't get answers, which means it's why we haven't had answers. So
Yeah.
It's I don't know. There needs to be a balance, right? I get that Niantic / eventually Scopely doesn't want people to just like play the game for 5 minutes and just like have everything completed and just stop playing and play a different game. But at the same time, like I know they also wanted to be a forever game, but the forever grind is exhausting, you know? There's gotta be a better way to keep it like a forever game without making people have to like grind their butts off every single time there's a new event every week, right? So
yeah.
but that's a problem for them to figure out as well.
As long as they know the problem's there and someone's fighting on the inside to make it happen, that's all I care about.
Yep. Well, I think they know the problem. Is someone fighting on the inside? I hope so.
Well, the thing is, like, I would assume that the devs, so there's a difference, right? You got developers and then you got like management. I feel like the developers know there's a problem, and I feel like one of the management knows there's a problem, but is it enough to push the needle? And this is why I mentioned indirect spending earlier. If these members of now Scopely are watching, the indirect spending is something like they should really keep an eye on. They're probably aware, but like it's huge. And then like I know we have a free battle pass that everyone can get, right? That little ticket, and then you get the wins and you get the stuff. But they've already just created a model, a beautiful model. I get the ticket every single time. With the events, right? You guys are aware.
Just like the weekly events, you mean?
Yeah, so this that.
Oh, I don't think I have that yet, right?
I don't have that yet.
Well, you're in the test group, which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, the other three of them don't have it.
I think Japan and US.
Oh, you guys literally don't have this feature?
I have it, but
it hasn't been rolled out. Yeah, it hasn't been rolled out globally yet.
Oh, it's so good. Right. Okay. So
C barely plays the game, so it's hard for us to know from his
let me just because like I said, my play habits have changed, right? I got a puppy last summer, and so I walk our dog every morning. I try to walk our dog every morning. Sometimes in the morning. Today it didn't happen, but that's okay. So when I walk the dog, I'm out for like 45 minutes, an hour. Guess what I'm doing? I'm just playing Pokemon Go. I'm just catching stuff. So how this works, it's so cool. So you have 2 tracks of rewards.
Yeah. For those that are listening to the audio version, ZyoniK is showing the April Go Pass.
I will do radio version. Here we go.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so you got 2 tracks of rewards. Think of it like your Go Battle Pass when you're scrolling through and you've won battles, but think of it like you've completed tasks. You caught a Pokemon, you hatched an egg, you spun a disc. They all give you points on a ranking. And you'll have 2 sides now on this track. You have your basic track, which is all free. Like the first one, 10,000 XP. Level 2, 5 Pokemon. Level 3, a Pokemon appears. It's a special catch in the sequence, right? Level 4, you get Machop Candy. You get 4 mysterious components for the Rocket Radar at level 5. Then you get Incense. The list goes on and on. You get lots of cool stuff. TMs, candy, max particles, great balls, ultra balls. Keeps going. But while you're progressing, you also have a deluxe version on the right side. And that, as you progress, if I get to level 10, I'm on deluxe level 10 as well. So if I don't want to spend to buy the ticket right away, I could spend later and then get all those rewards at once, like a big hit. And those have the more sought after things. So if you see a Machop Candy on the left for free, on the right you see Machop XL Candy. on the right. Same thing. Components is just more. Everything is just better. Like there's lots of XL candy in here. There's tons of Stardust. Like XL candy is just flying through here for specific Pokemon. And so what I like to do is I play the event for free. And then if I get close to level 50, which is where the end of the real reward track ends, because after that it's just all Stardust, and it's bad Stardust. They need to change those rates if they want us to keep going. If I get near the end, I will then buy the deluxe. I will buy the ticket, because then I can go back and claim all the rewards of my progress. And it's worth it to me to spend the $5 to make that happen, because I got a Xerneas encounter, XL Xerneas and candy, Cubfu XL candy, Frigibax XL candy, Battle Passes, rare candy, XL, tons of TMs, like for like $5 and just like playing the event, it's like so worth it if you complete it. And that's the cool thing. And that's why I think I'm like, you can always see where a company is going to go based on the decisions they
pass and the one they did for Go Tour.
Well, actually, here's the thing. So ZyoniK, when you were talking about your pass, it sort of boggled my mind, because it's actually different for each person.
Oh, that's crazy.
Mine actually goes to tier 100 for rewards instead of tier 50. And so I get a Xerneas at level 100 instead of level 50. And I know that this is the case, because people were getting Xerneas really early, and I was like, "What the heck?
You're like, I know I don't play the game that much, but that's kind of crazy fast for other people too."
But yeah, it's literally totally different passes, like per person. Like even my per tier rewards were totally different to yours, which is kind of crazy. But
okay, so this is what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're testing to see at what point they're testing to see what level people play to, and then when they're willing to buy it. Because if they let you get those levels for free, they want to know when your buy point is and when they can capture that. And so like right now I'm only level 67, and I actually stopped caring once I hit 50 because I get at 51 for free, I get 50 Stardust, and for deluxe I get 100 Stardust. And to me, I'm like, that's nothing. I don't care anymore. And it's the whole way down. If you scroll from 51 all the way to 100, it's the same Stardust on both sides all the way down. So I do not care. But I actually focused up and made sure I did all the stuff during these events to get to my lucky trinket, which I need to use. I'm trying to do it at Cosmog. Pray for me on that one. And so, yeah, they're trying to see, like, have you purchased your premium yet, Steve?
So I just hit level 101. So like I just hit all of my rewards. I haven't bought it yet because I'm sort of like staring down all the rewards, and I'm like, is it worth it? Because like, is it worth it in my head? I'm like, do I need a lucky trinket? Because I've had so many lucky trades that, don't get what I want, So most of my lucky trades, to be honest with you, these days are like, I'm really going for the hundo. I get a, 89 or a 92 or like something that's like a little subpar, and I'm just never going to use it. So I've sort of taken this, I think I've decided this. I'm like, I don't think it's worth it for me. But everyone makes their own call, and Niantic or Scopely gets all of that data at the end. They're able to make that determination of, how, I'm sure that actually the rewards are probably different, like per person as well. Like I'm sure they're not just doing A/B testing. It's probably A, B, C, D, E, F, G testing. Like they've got all sorts of stuff. So they're going to get so much data about how to optimize this. And as much as like, I think some people will look at that and cynically and be like, oh, it's just about, money grubbing. It's how can they extract the most money. But what you have to see is the other side of that equation, in which what you're like, people are spending money to get rewards that they think is worth that money. So it's sort of like giving people what they want is like the actual metric in a sense. It is a pretty interesting system. And I think for a lot of people, like for a lot of folks, the pass is so worth it. Like there's a lot of stuff in there and it's pretty good. And Tristan asked like, how different is it from the Go Tour pass? And like, it's kind of the same. Like it's pretty similar, I think. It's
it's kind of the same. But it's very interesting. That's cool that because I had no clue. I thought everyone had the exact same thing I did. I thought you guys all had it, and I'm like, this is such a good feature. Like,
I thought the same when I joined we did our first episode after the pass existed, and we were talking about the pass, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have it." I was like, "What?"
Maybe by the time we do get it, it'll be even better.
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
yeah. I just see the what I appreciate with it is I don't have to buy it first. It shows that you've completed it, and then it keeps reminding you, like, do you want to buy it? And it's like, to me, like $5 for some of this stuff I think is worth it, because I also don't grind. So I'm not out there for 2, 3, 4 hours, like events, 6 hours, putting in the 8-hour days, doing, nonstop. So my resources are far less than grinders. But if I can play an event kind of normally, walking my dog out every single morning for an hour and kind of getting what that gets me, and then pay $5 to get a little extra bonus on top of that with different stuff. I paid $5 for 2 charge TMs. Like, no, that's the ratio's bad. But I see that worth it for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, they should do this for GBL as well.
Yeah.
Is what the long tangent of this was. It was monetizing. Oh man, this brings me back. Caleb, I'd go on a tangent all day.
Dude, no worries. We still go on tangents about random stuff
Oh my
too.
God.
So
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know about for other people in the world, but I'm sitting in LA traffic on most days, and I could always use longer podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the tangent of, like, if they use this monetization structure for GBL as well, to get, because then you start getting a new audience as well, going, oh, there's like this thing in there. I could do some battles to get that. Maybe other people start playing GBL, and the more they play it to get the rewards, the more they start appreciating it. It's like a snowball effect. You want to try to attract as many players as possible, and there's a lot of ways you can do it. Yeah. So
No, that's really cool. Yeah, so I guess that answers the question on your new content and going on that.
New video incoming.
Yes. But I guess to kind of wrap things up a bit, what's the future direction for you? Obviously, you're probably going to try out this new content on your channel, and hopefully all goes well and you become the Wolfie of Pokemon Go. But
yeah, I would love
what
that.
is
That'd be
next?
great.
Yeah,
I mean, it means you have to become world champ, right? That's
well, let's
true.
get that detail. Yeah.
The-
Hey, he's going to start.
Listen,
competing
we
again,
don't
right? He has
make
some
the rules.
Yeah. Hey,
I've kept my secret strategies in a pocket. I'm just gonna show up to a tournament that gets a victory one day, and y'all are gonna be like, "Oh, wait."
He's been holding on to this lesson since he first
but all
released
these
that team.
videos show that he doesn't know how to throw in correct timing. What is he doing to me? No, yeah. So the direction is, like, I want to tell our stories. There's so many stories to tell. Lots of, like, such cool things. I got a whiteboard. Here, let me see. I got a whiteboard. So I got, like, let me move the boom arm real quick. Hold on.
Get some studio in.
We got Grumpig, Lapras, Annihilate and Primeape, Claydol, Tinkaton, which is being worked on right now. Best Pokemon of all time, not Alolan Marowak. That's my goat, but best for us.
Sag.
We got how competitive Pokemon Go became an esport. We got Bottle Cap.
Oh.
We got trainer highlights. So, like, our first world champion, right? Dancing Rob, his story. Yakai's story, which might be a bit tougher because he's a Pacific Asia player.
Yeah.
It's Axon, right? That's an easy one.
A lot of footage on him.
Like, there's a lot of, I mean, that's not even, there's so many stories we could tell. There's a lot of stories to tell. Whether it's the Pokemon, right? Took Claydol, what?
Mm.
5 years, 27 updates.
How many
It's hot
updates
garbage,
does it
like
take?
back when we started the podcast in 2022, or
Yeah.
2021.
And it was a
so,
joke back then. Like, oh, look, Claydol got another update.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
um,
The only downside now is it's going to cost you at least 50 TMs to make the right
Yeah.
moveset. That's with
yeah.
all that.
Thankfully, well, I don't even know if I have the right. I got Rock Tomb, so that's good enough for now.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
That's all. Yeah,
Secondary
just 3
move is-
Pokemon with Rock Tomb, and you'll just win. That's how you win games now.
I was
It's true.
casting Butters in Atlanta, and this was like middle of April, right? And
Yeah.
he's been trying to get the right moveset on the Claydol. Still up to that point since the season dropped. So it's been over a month and a half. He's been spending every TM trying to get the right moveset. And
no.
and he's also like he
Oh,
only
no.
had one elite charge TM left too, so he couldn't like just elite charge TM it twice. But he would do a raid, and he's
man.
like, "All right, Caleb, you ready to see if it happens?" I was like, "I'm ready," and it would just like some random like whatever
That's-
other move it has.
Yeah.
Gyro ball.
Well,
Gyro
we
ball,
could
yeah.
talk about TMs in a minute because I got a bone to pick with that.
We all
But
do.
yeah, so the in the short term or the mid, like this year, telling our stories, all the cool kind of stuff and stuff that like these are just like Pokemon. Some of these Pokemon idea stories, others are like big picture kind of stories, but also like some trainer stories. Like I'd love to see if I can write up a compelling story about like Martine and Adequance and how he's like this dragon trainer who just like came. He didn't come out of nowhere, but his legendary dragon Pokemon kind of came out of nowhere, and how like Giratina like just happened to be in this box that you could get, but its power spike in the Great League was like so strong and so compelling, and how he was able to like dominate tournament after tournament and then get to Worlds and ultimately like fell short because of Lickitung, like and now he's like this year he did Shadow Palkia, and now he wants to do Shadow Dialga. Like there's an interesting arc happening with him that I think is cool, that if he connects, like if he just, because he didn't use Shadow Palkia, he told me at EUIC he came up and he's like I saw him and I was like, oh man, he's like, I got Shadow Palkia. I'm like, how's it going? He's like, I boomed someone, a Draco Meteored like a Jumpluff. And I'm like, that's insane. That's awesome. And then he got to battle, and then he never used Shadow Palkia on stream because it just didn't make sense. I think he brought it once because I told him, I'm like, if you know it's like going to be your last time, just bring it once and try to Draco Meteor something for the fun of it. And he did it. He actually went for a Draco Meteor, and it was shielded. But I'm like, that kind of story arc, if he's actually able to make Shadow Dialga work,
Yeah.
I don't know if it will, but there's cool stories to be told for our community. So that's like phase 1. I'm also going to be bringing back streams.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't stream. I streamed like way at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because my children were babies.
Oh.
And so
Is it,
they would.
Oh, it cut out for a second.
Everyone cut out for a second. Yeah, besides me and Kaz, I think. But
Okay.
Yeah.
I streamed at the beginning because my children were babies. And so they'd take like a 3-hour nap. So it'd always be quiet. And then I could go record a video and do a stream. Like it was easy. But then as they got older, they needed more of my attention to kind of help out and stuff. And now they're getting to an age where they're a bit more independent. I still have to help. Basically breaking up fights is what I do right now. Like I'm holding out both hands, like holding them back from from fighting each other. That's basically my job right now. But they're getting to an age where I can probably stream. Maybe it's going to be after they go to bed. Maybe I could do it during the day, but I want to bring back streams. And then I want to not only stream like GBL, but like because like Pokemon Champions is coming, right? We know that's going to be mobile and whatnot. So obviously Wolfie inspires me, but also Wolfie made me realize that like there's other Pokemon PvP games you could play and try. So I've like I buckled down and started like getting my Violet up to snuff. Like I got an Urshifu. It's my first one. I got it from Sword and Shield. Camera's all messed up. I've been looking. The camera's here. I've been looking at this camera, which is not plugged in this whole time. It's been over
okay.
here. So I've been sitting here looking at this camera, and then I just checked the screen. I'm like, wait. Okay. Sorry. So basically, like, the big vision of the channel is not only like do our GBL and our play Pokemon, but do like other Pokemon content, like tell cool stories for whatever game or what have you, and just be like, I would love to be a channel where, as a father, I could let my children binge watch them and never have to worry, because that's the phase they're at right now. Like, my son loves watching shiny catches, but making sure he's watching a channel that is appropriate and entertaining, and not like, there was one channel I didn't even realize he was watching it, because these guys, right, once they get technology in their hands, they're better than us. Like, so he's like searching through YouTube and he finds this channel, and I didn't even realize he was watching it. And then later on that day, he starts saying these like phrases that are just not something a 5-year-old should be saying. And I'm just like, where did you learn that? And I come to find out he's watching this one channel on like Pokemon catching, but it's more adult version. I'm like, dude. So
I got some ideas now who that could be.
It's a multifaceted like vision for my channel, but it's helping bring awareness for PvP and GBL, and expanding so that other families who have children or they love Pokemon can watch and enjoy. And I hope it like all interconnects, where someone watches a video of me talking about Pokemon ZA for some reason with the new combat feature or something like that, right? Because that game's coming out. But then they go, oh, this was really entertaining. Like, this content creator's, interesting. And then they click on another video, but then it's about Pokemon Go. And they're like, oh, that's interesting. I have Pokemon Go. And then Scopely's like, yeah, you can battle right away. Like, so that's kind of the long-term goal.
Yeah.
I gotta stop. I'm putting this camera down.
Well, thanks for giving us a sneak peek on some of the future content as well, too. I'm very excited to see.
Yeah, no worries.
Are you gonna do any pocket streams?
Yeah. So I play Pocket. I don't battle in Pocket, but I like opening up the cards and collecting. I think it's pretty cool. It's weird. I love the way the phone vibrates when you do the slash. Like, for those who have
the haptics.
For those who have, you can feel it's just like, oh, that scratched an itch. That was beautiful. I love the Pocket. So on the streams, I'm not going to boom too far. It'll be GBL, play Pokemon Unite. Caleb and I got back into that way back in the day. We were both pretty good.
We did. That's what set me into League of Legends.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Because I was like, I'm craving for a little bit more complicated game. Yeah. Well, I know you played Wild Rift for a bit, right?
No, I played League back in the day.
Yeah. And then you were playing Wild Rift, like the mobile version, to like get back.
Yeah.
Leading up to Unite, I think, right? To like kind of.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. To get used to that, that play style. So yeah, Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Switch games. So they're like ZA and the new gen, which I'm guessing is going to be next year, I would think.
Yeah.
And then Pokemon Pocket is up there as well. Yeah. So just like more kind of broad. Like, I don't want to fall back into I only do GBL, because I know what that does to me. Like, if I only sit there and just battle every day, I know what that does to me personally as a creator, and I'd rather like uplift our community in a different way, if that makes sense. While still battling. Like, I'm still going to battle, but I'm not going to put in the 1500 battles in a season. Like,
yeah. I think Yonkis has like almost not skipped any battles any days. Like his battles are crazy. I was just like, I used to be like that bit, right? I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I skipped some battles today. And like these days, I'm just like, dude, that's like a regular day sometimes.
Yeah. And for anyway, it's not because I don't love PvP. You guys know I love PvP.
Yeah.
But you guys, I'm guessing this audience knows the ins and outs. Like once you get deep enough and you know that it wasn't your fault and it wasn't your opponent's fault, and you were at, I don't know, 29.99 in season 17. And instead of a 3-2, you got a 2-3, and there was a couple hours left. It's gonna tilt someone.
Someone.
That's a true story, by the way. I was 29.99, and I went 2-3, and I got tilted, and I did another set, and it was a 1-4, and that was a wrap. It was over.
I've had one of those where I think I hit like 29.99 or 98, and then I like go negative next set, and I didn't hit like legend for another like month and a half. I was like, dude, what's happening?
Yeah.
I was about to be one of the first in the world, so now I'm just like barely making it. But
No.
it'd be like that sometimes. Anyway, I know we've been going on for a little over 2 hours now, so I appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything that we haven't gotten a chance to talk about that you want to share with us? Because it's always a pleasure to have you on, but and we're happy to have you on more often than just every 100 episodes. But,
Yeah.
But seems like there's some type of trend, so we'll see you in at least 2 years.
Every 100 I come back.
Every 100.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. Happy to do it any other time. I don't know, is there like, because I know you guys do the events and stuff, is there like things that this is coming up, this is news, because
we don't really have a have a ton of events.
We were gonna save a lot of that for our regular episodes as well too, so that we can make this more about you. But
right, okay.
But we did. Steve though surprised. I don't know, unless I missed something he said last week. Surprised, I think, everyone when he just showed up in South Africa last weekend. I was like, wait, didn't we just record like a day or so ago, and he just flew to South Africa to compete at the Johannesburg regional or special events, and then you came back? Can you just tell us briefly like how that even happened? Because I'm waiting for a YouTube video. Did you drop it yet on it?
Yep, I posted it 8 hours ago, something like that.
Okay. I was looking for that day, but it wasn't up yet. But
I tried to record while I was in South Africa, but my mic just wasn't connecting to the computer, so I had to wait till I got home. I kept it completely hidden. I thought it would be really funny. So 2 months ago, they announced for the first time there would be Pokemon Go tournaments in South Africa. They announced 2 special events, one just this weekend gone, and then another one in like a few weeks actually. And so I was sort of looking at it, and there were some jokes. I was streaming one time, and we were sort of all joking around about like, how funny would it be to go? Because at the time there was no one registered, and so I was like, oh, interesting. Another week goes by. There's one person registered, Pokemoneymaker from Japan, who's really good. He came 3rd at Perth Regionals, but it's just him. And so 2 weeks before the tournament happens, it's still only him registered. And so I'm like, okay, there's room here to make a really dumb but really funny decision. Head over to South Africa, and I can go lose, and I can still say like, hey, I came 2nd in a special event. So I was like, you know what? I talked to Debbie Pebble, I talked to my mother, and to them I was like, look, I'm going to make a really dumb financial decision.
I
and
like
both
how
of them,
it's Debbie Pebble and then your mom. I
was like 2 sensible people.
Yeah, these are the 2 your go-to.
Debbie gets first say.
Yeah, Debbie got first say. But I talked to both of them. Is she your
emergency contact or is your mom your emergency contact? Because I'm actually not even sure at this point.
Depends if I'm at a Pokemon event or not. But I said to them, like, I'm going to make a dumb financial decision. And I explained it to them, and they were both like, you know what? That's a very you decision. So pop off, King.
They agree with you, like, yeah, that is a dumb financial decision.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, but yeah. So I rocked up.
Were you not worried? The event might not fire because it needs at least 4? Were you worried about that?
I was concerned. I sort of was talking to the event organizers on Facebook before I booked anything. Yeah, I wasn't that. Well, I contacted the organizers, made sure it was all good, and they were like, "Look, it's going to run anyway." So I was like, "Hey, fair enough, sounds good." And so I booked
he
it
did
all.
say it's potentially a dumb financial
Yeah.
decision. So it could have been a potentially very dumb financial
Yeah.
decision.
Look, I booked flexi, so like I could have canceled. Like worst case, I could have got flight credit. Worst case, but yeah. So I rock up. There ends up being 4 people, but Pokey Moneymaker didn't show. He wasn't there, so
he wasn't even there.
it was sort of just lucky. We were going to have 3, but then this guy from Germany, who's like the dad of some of Lou the Pikachu's students, was actually there.
Detective August, yeah. Well, I assume he plays Go because all these teams are pretty meta teams. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. But,
well, they're all legit. Like certainly the top 3. So like Alan is a legit player.
Alan,
and Mike Chen is top 10 on the NA leaderboard for championship points as well. And then Detective August, he doesn't necessarily play, but his son built him a team, and he was actually he was surprisingly good. We were sort of all talking. He was talking about his skill level, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is going to be a cakewalk. Easy opponent." But he kind of played a lot better than we were all expecting. So it was all of a sudden a little bit.
As well for all.
Yeah, I've got all the footage because it was a special event. So that's the other benefit is we can make videos of our runs. But 4 people. I ended up going 2-1. I came second. So me and Caleb, we're the same. Just second place finishes.
Actually, you might be better because it's been a while since I've touched second place. This is you though. A couple days ago, man.
Yeah, I'm at the top of my game, right?
Well, no, but Chen used to. I mean, I don't know anything about Detective August, but Chen used no easy opponent either. So that's you. I assume those are the 2 you beat, and you lost to Alan, right? Basically.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a little contentious with the one with Alan. It's a sort of a discussion that's flying around with did you lose to lag? I talked to some judges, and it sounded like the answer is no. But it's sort of I literally lost the championship on, I think, 1 bubble of lag plus 1 bubble of I overtapped. I think that was the difference that makes a champion.
Dude, but we could have been talking to a special event champion right here. Dude, that honestly, that would have been the icing on the cake because you already have a creator pass for Worlds, which means you're not allowed to compete at Worlds. And if you got the auto invite to Worlds,
so rude, Steve. So rude.
That would have been crazy.
Well, I'm glad it paid off and you got second at least too. And I was looking through your thread on X and it looks like there was no medals or anything, right? Did you get Pokemon card packs or anything?
So first place got a booster, second place got a half a booster, and third and fourth got a fair chunk of cards as well. But
okay.
Yeah. I was hoping for a medal, even though I knew it didn't say there was going to be one on the page.
Maybe there'll be a super rare card in there that could, cover all the expenses. But
all the expenses.
Okay. Can I just do a question? I see all these this card's worth $78. Like, who's buying that?
Oh, dude, let me tell you, the card market right now is crazy. There's a couple reasons for it. One of the reasons is a lot of it was prismatic. Was like one of the more recent sets, and it's all evolutions. And those cards, I guess people would love evolution, so those cards go for a pretty penny. Like one Umbreon card, non-graded, is like $1,500 minimum in English, an English card, right? Crazy. But also part of it is, I think a lot of from what I hear, a lot of crypto bros, or crypto people are getting into Pokemon cards as well because it's like, dude, this is more stable than stocks, right? And stuff like that. So they're getting into it, and then they may be part of it. I don't know, but there's also scalpers because if the market's good, then the scalpers are really eating good too, right? So they're scalping all these cards and they're selling it at a premium, and because there's so much FOMO, a lot of people are still buying from scalpers, right? Which is skyrocketing the market, and it's crazy. But I was at a card shop this past weekend. And the card shop owner, he showed me a picture. He wasn't going to show me the whole thing, right? But he has a 1-of-1 Mudkip card, right? And this card was from early 2000s, so they don't make them anymore. And it's 1-of-1 because it's the only one that got the Beckett 10 grading, right? Which is the highest grading, like a black label essentially. And he said this card, the current market value right now, he'll only sell for 7 figures or more.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, but so this is
but there's people like there's like rich people, like Saudi princes and stuff, like collecting
Mhm.
these things, you know, and
Yeah.
people that just have
Yeah.
much money to.
But
know
I'm
what to
like,
spend it
I'm
on.
thinking like on like volume wise.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously the rich people, like I think of like when Logan Paul bought like the PS10
Yeah.
Charizard,
Mhm.
right? And
Yep.
did that whole thing with his neck.
Yeah.
Like that's an example of someone buying like an individual card who
Mhm.
has money
Yeah.
for the sake of like better publicity or something like that. Or maybe someone's just a
Right.
collector and they got a ton of money and they love it. But like I'm talking the who's buying consistently for actually going, I want to keep this card because I love it and it's so cool. I'm going to pay $320 for this card, right? I
Yeah.
don't know if people are doing that. If a person would pay that money, I'm sure they would just buy the packs for the love of the chase to try to pull.
Well, I think there's two parts.
know-
One,
yeah.
you'd be surprised, but also,
I'd be surprised. Okay.
yeah.
but there's the piece as well that like some people, because this has gone so crazy and it's gone up and up and up, there are a lot of people that look at it as an investment and intend to
Yes,
like resell it later.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. They're
Um,
seeing it like they're not buying it because they actually want the card. They're
Yeah.
buying it because they're like, someone else is going to buy it from me
Mhm.
for more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I'm like,
I think because for some of them the cards are the packs themselves, because they've been priced so high now in the booster boxes, it's not worth it to buy a booster box to try to grab the card, whereas that money you buy for the booster box you could just spend to buy that individual card, right? Because it'll sometimes be cheaper or stuff like that. But I was surprised too myself, because I was like, are there that many people that really just collect just to collect, without like, you know, like a Logan Paul kind of thing where you're like flexing a big,
there's-
you know, expensive
There's also
card?
people that
And surprisingly, yeah, like Tristan.
there's also people that like open them and they might be missing. They want like a full set and they might be missing only one or two cards.
Yeah.
And at that point,
Yeah.
it might be more worth it to spend the $100-$200 to get whatever card you're
Yeah.
missing than open a bunch more packs, which are pretty expensive now. And also, it can be pretty hard to find the packs these days because they're in such high demand that just getting your hands on the
Yeah.
packs is often pretty challenging, is my understanding too. So
Especially the newer stuff too. But yeah, to answer ZyoniK's question, like I was surprised as well the amount of people that actually collect just to collect. Not say like, oh, I need a PSA 10, I need a whatever, PSA 9 or higher stuff. Like they just want to have like one of each from a set. And because I'm not a collector myself, right? Like I'm not collecting Pokemon Go sometimes, but it's just like, but I'm not like I'm buying stuff to collect. Like I'm pretty minimalist in general, and it seems like you are too to a degree, ZyoniK. But there's a surprisingly high number. Like even my own teammates on the Cool Cats, like I was like, we have a whole channel for TCG. I was like, I didn't even know like Ramberto collects cards. He was like showing me all these cards he got graded. I was like, what? Like I didn't even know you buy this stuff, you know? But like, and I feel like the amount of people that have been collecting just on my team alone have like increased over the past like couple months a year. So I don't know. It's definitely a craze, and it's if you have a lot of extra unopened booster boxes, it's probably not a bad time to sell. But me personally, I'm just holding on to it because, you know, in a couple of years, that might be even more, you know. But I just regret like when we were kids and like in the 90s and we had booster packs and I opened up stuff. Dude, I'm just like tossing that stuff around the playground and stuff. Like, I mean, not like terribly so, but like, you know, you're not sleeving them, right? Or I didn't have sleeves back then. I'll just, you know, show them off and stuff, and like they're all scuffed up. I'm sure they're worth a lot, but it's not as much anymore because I'm making.
Well, it depends, because I still have my cards from when I was a kid, and like they're not in terrible condition, but they're also like printed just a little too late to really be worth anything. You know, they're not like the OG ones.
Yeah.
And I mean, I bought them when I was a kid in like
hold
in
on to them
99.
though, because maybe
I mean they're safe.
Because a couple of decades from now, a card from '99 is still a card from '99. You know, like like it's not the
they're
first
in
edition,
a safe
but...
place, Caleb.
Drop the coordinates, you know. Let me check up on them once in a while.
Not to you.
So thanks for the insight. Coming back from our tangent.
Yeah.
Well done, PvP Steve. Great story. going to South Africa.
He's adding you to the
second-
whiteboard now.
Taking second in an international tournament.
That's
me.
crazy too. Because so the guy from Germany, why was he there? Was he there to compete, or
his kids were competing basically?
So they came down from Germany to compete at that.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
So
Then
his
Alan
daughter
and Chen
won.
Yu are both from NA, and they flew down to compete at that too, right? That's so wild.
Yeah, it's look, we all had
Where
the same
were all the
idea
people from South
in a
Africa?
sense.
Yeah.
But,
You all made the same like text to family and friends,
Yeah.
like I'm about to do something
Well,
stupid.
honestly, the guy from Germany was like the lifesaver there, right? Because if you're one short, then
yeah,
I mean,
it
goes from
thanks to that
maybe
German
dumb
guy
financial decision to a very, very dumb
Yeah,
financial decision.
like as is, because he competed, I got 325 championship points, which is insane. If he doesn't compete, I don't get that.
300?
Dude.
325.
Dude,
which
maybe
is-
I should have just booked a flight to there instead of Portland. Because
Wait, does that mean is that your 14th placing now?
Yeah, that's my 14th placing.
Oh,
So-
okay. I thought this was the reveal. I'm actually number 7.
No, I haven't really been because I don't get to compete in the Australian
that'll be
ones because
after
I've been
he goes
casting
back
them
next month.
Yeah, Tristan. Yeah,
Right?
look, I'm not gonna lie. I've been eyeing up that second South African one, but I do think that this second one is going to be way bigger because the lid's been blown. People have seen that this first one had 4 people.
wait, when is it and where is it in South Africa? I'm just curious how expensive these flights are.
It's in Durban, Durbin, and it's like May 25 something, May 24, 25. So it's in like 3 weeks.
I don't even know what the nearest airport is for South Africa.
It's really close to Johannesburg.
I see.
Really.
There's a Durban. Yeah. Okay. Wait, when is it? Yeah. It's May what?
3 weeks from now.
What's the specific?
24.
24. Oh, okay. I am genuinely curious how much this actually would be because
Caleb, that's the same weekend as Portland.
I know. But maybe I should have gone to here instead of Portland. That's just what I'm saying.
Oh, wait. So NA battlers might have already booked their flights and stuff. Okay, hang on. Re-interested.
It's like, maybe
why is
head back over. Actually, no, this is
That'd
pretty
be
pricey.
hilarious.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like for you, Steve, but this would be a bad financial decision for me too. So, especially with no prize money, right? They're all special events.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
you
no
can't really
prize
earn it
money.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Portland's pretty close to me, so in comparison, but
Yeah. I think for North American trainers, like unless you've got if you have any points, you should probably play
for all
Portland.
these flights. There's no direct flights, not even close.
The only reason you would even consider it really is if you're going for that auto qualification, and that's like your only shot. If you can just get a little bit of points from Portland and get to Worlds, that's probably the better financial decision.
I don't even know how you got back in time for this podcast. The shortest flight for me is 35 hours. That's the shortest flight. Yeah. I think South
I got
Africa's
direct
maybe
from Sydney, man.
How long is the flight for to South Africa?
15 hours over.
That's still pretty lengthy, but not as bad. Direct is okay. Okay, I mean, I can see why you did it. It's funny content too, but
oh yeah,
good thing you were
That's
there
great.
because otherwise there would be no results. So
no. Oh yeah, and I've given all the data to Dracoviz. They'll add it when they get it. But that was also in the back of my head. I saw all the Dracoviz chatter being like, "How are we going to get the Johannesburg data?" And I was sitting there reading the messages, being like, "Don't worry, I got it. I'm not telling you." But
Alan and Chen, you are definitely on the scene pretty often too, so I'm sure they could have got it from them.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, they didn't register
you-
until like 4 days before, on the website. So it was all very.
What'd you bring then? I mean, clearly, you needed a win, so you probably just bought a stacked roster of 6.
Yeah.
there was no
Spice is
Wilmer,
nice.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
I got a team off of Ashton Ash.
Disappointed.
Sorry. He built a team for me that was working really well. That was really just built around Shadow Primeape. It's actually insane how good it is. I literally ran Shadow Primeape for Alligator in every single game of the tournament.
Wow.
Shadow Primeape is just it wins so many matchups in the 2 shields that you just don't expect it to. It beats a Zoomeril in the 2 shields. You can beat Jumpluff. You can beat anything. And even the matchups that it loses, as long as you've got a strategy of what you do when you lose it, just feels
the
so broken.
The karate chop feels incredible. I know we loved counter over the years. We've always been until the nerf, right? Counter and Shadow Claw were the golden fast moves. These are the pinnacle of PvP.
Yeah.
But karate chop now, I'm
Dude.
That thing cooks.
4 karate chops to a rage fist is crazy. It's just
Yeah.
like
It's so insane.
it's
'Cause
kind of
I've been
ridiculous.
I've been playing with Annihilate in GBL, and like counter just feels so clumsy by
Yeah.
Yes.
comparison.
Yeah, I kind of hate it, but yeah, it was Primate for Alligator, and then I paired it up with Azumarill, Tinkerton, Claydol, and Furret. I don't think
love
I
it.
actually used Claydol once. Now that I think about it, but
What was
yeah.
the final one? I didn't hear it. Sorry.
Furret was at the very
Furret.
end. So
Checking
You
all
know,
my
I haven't-
Minkies, but
I haven't. Well, actually, I just powered up a Furret the other day because I was watching a bit of. Oh goodness, what was the tournament this weekend?
Seville.
Seville. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching a bit of that, and I saw Furret. I'm like, all right, I need to stop ignoring this normal type Pokemon. Clearly, everyone is like on Sucker Punch meta right now. I should probably like add that to my roster. I went and checked. I had like a ton of options with my IVs.
Yep.
Because I'm like, oh, there's
Had
my
this for years,
hoarding
right?
right
Yeah.
there. This is beautiful. All like different, like 3, 15, 14, 1, 14, 15, like all different spread options. And so I actually went for one with a 5 attack. So I went 5, I think it was like 5, 15, 14. It was like rank like 93. Because I'm like, the odds of everyone having lower ones, I'm probably going to win some charge attack priorities there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
get
I'm like, that's what I'm going to
Mhm.
go for. But I'm like, for it, sell me on it. Is it like, is it good?
I feel like it's
I-
still underwhelming in my opinion, but
Well,
I don't know.
yeah.
I
Open grade-
believe
Kinda
that.
mid.
Before this tournament, I definitely believed that. And I don't mean that like it did so well for me in the tournament. I more just mean like as I was sort of really looking into it in the lead up, like as I was sort of studying what it can actually do. I mean, obviously like the main reason that people use it in some sense, or one of its big selling points is that, you know, it's got Sucker Punch for Claydol, and Claydol is one of the most used Pokemon at the moment to counter all of the Tinkerton, Drapion, yada, yada, yada. So that's like obviously a feather in its cap. But it kind of just wins a lot of neutral matchups, like straight Swift. Like you can beat Talonflame straight Swift. And there's some matchups that are a little bit dicier. You really have to like understand for it to be able to win them. Like you need
Yeah.
to go for Trailblaze first, and then you need a Swift and a Trailblaze. Like it sort of gets a little bit techie, but
Yeah.
it just wins so many neutral spots. And a lot of them are actually just cases where like your opponent, or you can tank one move from your opponent better than they can tank a move from you. And that's the difference to be able to win a matchup. And so it's just that slight bulk differential with Swift being, you know, a 5 Sucker Punch move that kind of just works out pretty nicely, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right, I'll have a look because I was impressed with Tinkaton. I didn't do it. I didn't get any trades for it. I just rare candied, powered up the best hashed one that I had, but it felt like similar.
Yeah.
Where I was able to do more neutral damage to them than they could do to me, and I'm like, oh, this thing's gonna be dangerous. This thing's
I feel like
this thing's
it's
gonna be
sort of
dangerous.
A blend between. I feel like it's a blend between Lickitung and Vigoroth, sort of. Because Sucker Punch is like a clone of the old counter. Your Swift is pretty similar to Body Slam. And then Trailblaze is kind of similar to a Power Whip.
The power.
Yeah,
So sort of like a mix.
the thing I
between
don't
those
like
two
about it is
Pokemon
that-
used to be good.
You have to shield a Sableye
Sold.
to counter swap it, though. That's the problem. Like, you're supposed to be a Sableye counter, and you have to shield the Sableye from a Shadow Sableye. Otherwise, you just, like, they could shield and, like, flip switch, right? Which is, like...
Sure, but you have...
Well-
right, but you have Trailblaze, so you can ramp up. So you come out of that matchup boosted, and you can potentially get a shield.
Well,
back.
yeah,
Yeah.
but usually like they're leading something that's pretty strong into it, right? And
Yeah.
so
I wouldn't say that like if I was to add that to my roster, it's like kind of like a hard Sableye counter. That's like that's my Sableye check. It's more I think what Steve said, it's like it's the Claydol check with like those neutral matchups. And then if you like if PvP gods bless PvP Arceus blesses you with an Azumarill lock-in, you can just trailblaze and like
To be honest with you, the Azu matchup isn't that great. It's a little,
no, I'm
Dude.
telling you,
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced, right? I don't think
I wouldn't be surprised if it wins a regional, right? It already got close at Monterey, got second place. But especially
Hey,
with
got
Timmy
second
Thompson.
place in Johannesburg. That's,
True. But what did you bring every game? It wasn't the ferrets. It was the primate
It was
and
the
the alligator,
rabbit.
right? Yeah.
yeah. I've read it a bit, but yeah, I think it's a Pokemon that you
I'm
can't
gonna watch a
plug and
video
play
later
it.
and tally mark how many times you actually brought this ferrets. It better
was-
be.
It might be 2. I didn't play that many games, man.
All right.
Well-
Out of the 2 games you brought it, did you win those games?
I lost 1-1, I think. But I made a team read on one of them that was wrong. They went ABA to Claydol, and I didn't bring Claydol, so it was team read on that one. But yeah, it's a Pokemon I think high skilled trainers can use very well. Is my take.
Okay. It's
Fair.
got the juice, but it's not like
It's a tough squeeze.
when you put Shadow for Alligator in your hands for the first time, you like see the light. You're like,
Yeah. I can see how this is
Yeah.
good. No,
Yeah.
ferrets, I'm like, I have high
for-
hopes. I have a rank 1. And
Yeah.
it's still like
Yeah.
not that tanky.
No, you've got to study first. I think is my take.
Yeah. Ferret is like a situation where it's the pilot, not the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh.
I agree.
Look, I get it. It's like a pilot driving a 20-year-old car, you know? Like they say like driver not car, but the car's not great either, you know. So a better driver can drive it better than me, but it's I don't know. It is what it is.
Maybe. We'll see.
Anyway, that's we'll see how that goes, but congrats on the second place finish. And yeah, I mean, I think that's going to wrap it up for us. We're approaching 2.5 hours too, so taking a lot of your time, but appreciate you stopping by. Is there anything you'd like to share, or where can people find you?
You can find me on the YouTubes. Look out, like the videos that you guys saw. Some people are like, "When's the next video coming?" I'm like, "It's not today." Like these videos take a little while to make. So I'm hoping to fill that content with live streams. So I've been like getting some different stuff because I didn't live stream, I didn't get things to help make live streaming easier. So like this boom arm, right? Like that's just a quality of life for streaming to have it right here. Otherwise I got this like awkward, like, where do I put my mic? Because it's on my keyboard or something like that. So I've been kind of getting some stuff. I'm trying to create like an ambient. My wife didn't say it. I'm trying to create an actual office because so like Caleb called it out perfectly. I'm a very simplistic person. I don't hold a lot of material things. Like I'm just very minimalistic, but I like digital things. I like collecting cards and for free in the app because it's, clutter free. But so I'm like trying to build an office. So I got like a little bit of like plushies back there. We're going to look to try to paint the wall. I'm going to get some other stuff. So it actually looks like a space, because right now it looks like I just moved in like I did 2 years ago. But yeah, streams, videos, posts on X. I would like to, well, this is a good place to ask. Do other people, is it appropriate when a Play Pokemon tournament is playing to live stream it on your own channel and talk about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's actually
There's a ton of people that do that.
They even have like a streaming guideline, I think, too, but you're totally allowed to actually. And so there's other casters that do it as well. I don't know if Inaquan's done it recently, but I know that he's done it in the past too, and it's totally fine. Yeah,
because that's like, I mean, you guys know I love Play Pokemon. Like that's just like
yeah.
It's so cool. I know I don't compete. Like I wish I could. It would be so much fun. But I love Play Pokemon and the journey that it's gone through. Right. But I'm like, should I stream it? Because I would love nothing else than on a Saturday morning. There's a tournament in Europe that goes live, and I just sit here with my coffee, turn on the live stream, watch it, talk to chat, and just watch Play Pokemon all day. And so if other people do that and it's fine, cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot you a policy like snapshot. This is the last one I'm most aware of, and it has like the guidelines if you want to co-stream anything too. So
nice.
So you can take a look at that too. But yeah, you won't. It's totally allowed. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because that was the other thing I was torn with the
It's
video.
allowed and encouraged. You
is
just
I
have to
wanted
follow
to
a couple
show-
basic guidelines.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
sent those over to ZyoniK. So
Thank you. I see that.
yeah, because I
Meowth
know in
just
your recent
staring
video
again.
you're shoutcasting some of
Yeah.
the battles, right? From Vancouver, and yeah, that's totally fine. I mean, I do that in my videos all the time. So
Okay, yeah, because I was so torn. I'm like, because I'm like, well, I want to show Rise winning with Galissapod for the first time. I think someone from Asia did well with Galissapod before, but
Yeah.
it can't show that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So Rise was technically the first one on stream to
Yep.
win with Galissapod
Mhm.
because there was a technical hiccup where he was the only Pokemon that was allowed because it already had Aqua Jet, whereas the other Pokemon had to wait a week, right?
Yeah, halfway meta. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
halfway meta. So
Yeah.
he won because of that. So I wanted to show his battles, but I didn't. I would have loved to like showcase because I know there's other casters who put in a lot of work to like make this event great, right?
Mhm.
So I didn't want to take thunder from them, but I'm like, but if I just play it, do then I get in trouble because I didn't make it myself? It wasn't my own thing. But then if I shoutcast it, do I piss off? And it was just this whole like back and forth, and I just went with my own shoutcast.
Yeah.
But if I'm allowed to just co-stream, then man, catch me on the weekends for playing Pokemon.
Well,
You did go the right way with that, by the way, because it would have been like, yeah, it's against the rules to just, blatantly copy paste 15 minutes of footage with the, official casters and just post it yourself. But if you do your own commentary, it's like they encourage it. So it's all
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
hunky dory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Um,
yeah, because
yeah.
then you just be grabbing the entire grand finals.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
a good
true.
chunk
Yeah,
of
just
time.
copy paste video put in.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I didn't want to do that. Yeah.
No, I think you approached it the right way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll catch you on some weekends. And hey, if I do well in Portland, I'll go back and watch your reactions to some of my bad plays.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be a Bastion this time around, but we'll see. Honestly, if they didn't nerf the SmackDown, I would consider it. But the SmackDown nerf is kind of hurts it a bit. But it is what it is. I still see Bastion GBL all the time, and I kind of laugh at it when it's locked into my digger
Yeah.
speed. But
You know how I like to think about it, Caleb?
how?
They're purposely making the meta to always counter a Alolan Marowak. That's how I see it.
True.
This thing can't get too
You got-
powerful.
Yeah.
You can't. The
Because
meta
then-
is built to hold the goat down in my eyes.
I don't know if
right?
you saw
You got-
LEIC this
Yeah.
past year, but the guy
Oh.
that got second place, Vitorello, he had a Shadow Alolan Marowak on his team. And it wasn't meta
Yes.
then. It's still not meta, but he made that thing look scary good. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much fun to use, especially with the Bone Club update. I think Fire Spin got a damage boost as well.
Yeah. And Flame Wheel and
Yeah.
stuff, like all the stuff. Yeah. But
Flame what?
it has like
I miss Flame Wheel.
Flame Wheel. I don't know if it's a move of
Hex.
choice, but didn't it get
No,
access
it'd
to
be-
Flame Wheel or it's or it got
You'd either-
buffed?
Well, Hex got buffed too.
Yeah.
Hex-
So I would either go Hex route with like Bone Club Shadow Bone because they would see that I have Fire Blast. If it's GBL, I go Fire Blast.
Yeah, Flame Wheel is just way worse than
Yeah.
Bone Club.
But yeah, it's cool. But yeah, you got Shadow Drapion, Azumarill, Claydol, like Claydol's. It's the mud slaps, just like yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways.
yeah, makes it a little bit tougher. But
You're
Anyways,
using the
I
wrong
keep
Marowak,
tangenting.
I
I'm
think.
sorry. Yeah, no, I adopted the cousin mentality. I love Shadow Kanto Marowak so much. It absolutely smacks and it is so satisfying to
literally.
use. I've used it a lot. And it's a part of the family, so it's like Goku and Vegeta kind of situation I think, in my head.
yeah, I think that's fair. Well, anyway, thank you for joining us for our very special 200th episode. I'm sure, hopefully, we'll catch you before our 300th, but
Yeah.
otherwise, mark your
Yeah,
calendars
feel
for
free.
2 years from now.
Feel free to reach out. I
Yeah.
know in years past I've always like I
250,
can't
lock
because
it in.
of
No,
kids or
no,
this
no,
and
no.
that.
You've always been one of the most responsive people, actually. So, no need to apologize at all, too. But, yeah, I wish you the best of luck on the new content direction of your channel. If people
Have not seen it yet. Highly recommend it. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun. I was listening to it last night while I was cooking. It was a great time. So, but yeah, one of those. What I like is the videos are like evergreen, right? Like they will always have some type of relevance, and those are like the most fun to watch, right? Whereas GBL videos just like, all right, after this week, like who's really gonna go back and watch like what I did in Great League Remix in 2025, like so.
Yeah.
Those are really cool though, and I'm sure down the years some people will probably go through like all the videos like in that format. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everyone that tuned in as well. Hopefully those that have been here since the very beginning, drop a comment down below. I'm very curious how many there really are, and I don't blame.
Probably stuck around too.
Yeah, I don't blame people if they didn't, right? Because we took some breaks. We had a lot of change of hosts and stuff like that, and some people that honestly, for some people that listen to this, they might not even been playing PvP back when we started this in 2021. So that's like very possible. So yeah, let us know down below in the YouTube comments if you've been here since the beginning, because I'm genuinely very curious who would torture themselves by listening to my voice for 200 episodes. But here we are. So anyway, hope you all have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace out.